I mean, that's kind of important.
Just, you know.
Oops, sure, I realized I am very not ready.
You guys got the link to the group loot, right? Everybody got that in the group chat?
Yeah,
Okay.
I had to request access, though.
Yep.
Oh, is it still asking to request access?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it says it'll send me an email when my access has been
Approved. Okay,
Yeah.
Sorry, I'll do that.
All right,
If it would be simpler, we could just make a document in Roll20 that contains party loot. It's pretty easy to do.
That's true.
Is it?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
I'll just make a handout that you can all edit. I mean, you can all edit all of your handouts. Remember, because we talked about at the beginning where you can open up an NPC in your journal and put notes on them if you want. I can just do the same thing, but just as a group loot. All right. And a link. There we go. And we're tweeted. And we're live. Hello, everybody. How goes it? Fantastic. I know, there's like a 20-second delay, so I just assume you are all peak condition. I don't even know what that means, but sure. Welcome back, everyone, to Curse of the Crimson Throne. Unfortunately, this is a day later than usual. My apologies for that. I had some things come up last minute that I had to cancel, and luckily it wasn't like a migraine. That's good. I have been very lucky. My migraines have been hitting like on days that don't matter lately, which is very, very nice. Well, I mean, as nice as can be expected. But we're here. We're here a day later to do Curse of the Crimson Throne. Welcome back, everyone, on the mic. On the mics.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
I'm in
How are
jail.
You're in jail. You don't expect to do much this session. So, no. We just like cut back to you once an hour. So, you're still in jail, Faust. Back to the group. No.
Whoa. Be more inclusive. I count.
Yeah. No, you count tremendously. You're just in jail.
They slide you a harmonica.
I don't know if you've noticed this or not, but kind of one of the main points of jail is that it is insanely boring.
That's not true. There's
That is
some
one of the
rehabilitative prisons.
I said one
No.
of the main. I mean, sure, they'll give you a book right around hour 3 of the session.
You telling me this isn't like Finland? They're not going to give me a resort island to rehabilitate myself on?
No, you're not rich enough.
What? No.
All right. Welcome back, everyone. When last we left, actually, believe it or not, Faust had landed himself in jail after attempting to break into the orphanage multiple times, failing tremendously. Muri eventually calling the guard. I think it was Muri that called it. Might have been someone else.
No, it was probably me.
Yeah, calling the guard and having Faust dragged off to jail. And you guys had actually had a very interesting dinner over at the academy, where you met a lot of familiar faces, some new faces, learned some interesting things, like, for example, Arlen's father has been named head arbiter of the city, which is like the city's judges. They are the judicial branch of the government of the city. Muri got a chance to speak to her son, who and got a little more information on him. He is the head of the Grey Maidens, and also, I think Chrysidia told you this, but just in case I forgot to mention, also the only known male member of the Grey Maidens. I believe that information was passed to you, but just in case it wasn't, you noticed that as well. Rose through the ranks incredibly quickly and is now the de facto lead of the Grey Maidens. He asked you to basically leave him
Fuck off.
Yeah, basically, politely told you to fuck off. This was not the world for you.
As politely as you can tell your mother to fuck off.
Yes, and you also met a shy yet seemingly very talented bard by the name of Shala Valentine, a member of the famous Valentine family, who is a family of very, very skilled bards. And after her performance, she heard you guys over talking about having a place to stay for a new friend that you made, a paladin that was assigned to you by Chrysidia Croft. Hello, again. And overhearing the conversation of giving Rhea a place to stay, Shala asked if perhaps she could stay with you as well, since, well, she was offered a place at the palace, but that makes her uncomfortable. She's not used to such things.
I'm so glad we didn't have to go out of our way to adopt this NPC. I'm so glad you just kind of fell into our lap.
Well, I say cut out the middle sessions. Just get straight to the meat.
Yeah, just get her in the door.
By the end of this campaign, I'm just going to introduce their name and tell you what room they're probably going to be occupying in the orphanage.
Sick. I still have to design the upper floor, so don't fill it up.
Yeah,
Lined up.
How many floors is the orphanage?
2 plus the attic.
Yes.
Okay.
Which probably fits you a little bit better now that you're not so fucking tall.
Yeah.
And then you guys made your way back to the orphanage, which is where Faust attempted to break in. Fascinated with Arlen, who he knows was resurrected as reincarnated is the actual word.
Yes.
Reincarnated as a dwarf, and he seems to have some sort of weird scientific fascination with that. And we're going to start the session off exactly where we ended it off last time, in the jail cell at Citadel Volschnick, where Faust is sitting. You've been spending the night there, Faust. I don't know how comfortable you would or would not have found it. It's not the most comfortable jail cell, that's for sure. It is quite literally a dungeon.
Is the floor flat?
The floor is flat. There are iron manacles. You, however, have not been bound to them. There is a burlap sack full of straw on the floor, a fairly large one that would count as some form of mattress. However, roll me a perception check.
Doesn't he have dog bodyguards now?
Yeah, 2 giant mastiffs.
Puppies.
That burlap sack full of straw has definitely has mites in it.
That's okay. I won't sit next to it.
And that's about it. Oh yeah, and then a chamber pot, for you to use.
Okay. Waiting for someone to come by, Faust is going to sit in a deeply meditative stance and be ready to caw at them like a crow. And I'm not saying this is a joke. This is what he's doing.
Got you. Okay. Well, sometime in the morning, probably about mid-morning, you hear the door open. And you do, you've been in darkness the whole time, so the door opens and your eyes are kind of blinded by the light a bit as you see 2 figures, not quite sure who they are yet until your eyes adjust, into the room.
Okay, they're about to get barraged by crow sounds.
Okay.
That is what's happening. He is cawing at them like a crow. I just don't want to imitate that.
No, I understand. I'm with you. You do that, and after a few times, I have a question. Is this something that you have done before?
Yes.
Okay. You hear a very familiar, no-nonsense voice say, "Faust, stop it." And is a voice you recognize very clearly, the voice of Dr. Raylan.
Oh. Fancy seeing you here. I did a thing. I wound up here. I did some stuff. It was cool.
As your eyes kind of adjust to the light, you see clearly Dr. Raylan and Chrysidia standing behind her. And she'll turn to Chrysidia and say, "A moment, please, if you don't mind." And Chrysidia will nod, close the door behind her. And Dr. Raylan will stare at you for a while, then very, very calmly move out of your vision. And then you hear the dragging sounds of a chair pull up in between the two mastiffs. And then she calmly just sits down and stares at you.
Okay. Faust will reciprocate her stare and look her dead in the eyes.
Do you have any idea what it would mean to my reputation if my son was found in here?
Well, I can't really say that much. I didn't know much about my first parents either, you know? So,
Yes, but you
no, I
do know
guess
about
not.
my practice. A doctor relies on the goodwill and faith of their patients. If the good people of Corvosa find out that my adopted son is a criminal in jail, they will wonder why and what kind of upbringing he had, and if that's the kind of person they want treating them. Is that something you want me to deal with?
Well, no. But I will tell you the reason I'm in here. And Faust will point at his shoes and say he needs a new pair of shoes.
You're
I
in
wasn't
here
doing anything.
because
I
you
wasn't
need a
doing
new-
anything that illegal. Just,
I
bad shoes.
heard what you were doing. You were trying repeatedly to break into an orphanage?
It's not what it sounds like. I
Then-
was there for scientific reasons.
Oh. She puts a elbow on her knee and then rests her chin on her hand. Do enlighten me then.
You see, I caught word of this this interesting case at I don't remember his name. Saren Ray. Sorry, that was out of character. Of okay, there's someone at my door. I'm sorry.
It's fine. As Faust stumbles through it, she sits and listens attentively. You do hear a whistle from back in the hallway, and the mastiffs kind of stand up and start trotting back up through the hallway. Doo-doo.
I'm sorry for that.
That's fine.
Okay, I'm back.
All right, I just mentioned that there was a whistle back in the hallway, and the mastiffs kind of got up and trotted back down the hallway.
Oh, okay.
And she goes, yeah, so she wanted you to enlighten her.
Right. I caught a wind of an interesting case at one of the local. Is it local? The Sarenrae temple.
Yes, it's local.
Local Sarenrae temples from a fellow clergyman. And I don't know if it's male or female. Sorry.
It was a female,
but-
young female.
From one of the young female clergymen.
Yeah, I'm
Words.
with you. Just go.
Regardless, there was a dwarf there who, when they tried to resurrect her, she became an other way around. An elf who was resurrected into a dwarf. You see, you know about my tendencies and some of my passions by now.
Yes.
Of course, that's much more interesting to me than the rules here.
I see. She kind of looks at you and she goes, I don't have time for this. Believe it or not, I have other things that I have to do, very important things that you have been pulling me away from so that I can take care of this little mess. I have posted your bail. Please, for my sake, and for the sake of your sister, who I'm sure would be mortified if she found out you were in here, don't do it again. If this person fascinates you so much, then do something that I know is almost foreign to you, but I'm sure with your intelligence you can figure it out. Use a little thing called tact.
You want me to knock on the door?
She stands up. Faust, I want you to act like the smart young man you are, someone who knows manners and social cues. Can you do that? Just for a while.
You want me to act like a plebeian?
She hesitates. Are you not even listening? I said a person that knows social cues. What kind of plebeian? And then she kind of like just like puts her hand in her head in her hands. Faust, I really don't have time for this today. Things are happening that are far more important than this. Look, you have an interest in this person, yes?
Yeah.
Okay. Then she kind of hesitates. I don't know. Be nice. I don't know. Offer them something in return. Just don't bloody break into their orphanage.
To be fair, I didn't break anything.
I see. Faust, you know I care about you. I don't want to see you get hurt. And I do not have the time right now to ensure that you're doing what you're supposed to be doing at the academy. Oh, the academy. She goes, that's something else I heard. I don't have time for this, Faust. Your bail is posted. Please. Please do not make me come down here again.
Right. Yeah, I'll do my best.
Thank you. And then with that, she takes the chair, drags it back. And then she comes back and she stands in front of you and she says, also, it's probably nothing, but in case it is, if you're not feeling well, you have money, yes?
Probably not on me, but somewhere, yeah.
She will reach into her pouch and she will pull out a handful of gold, about 150 pieces, and she'll say, keep this on you. At all times, do not spend it. If you're not feeling well, go to the Church of Abadar and ask for healing. For me, please.
From her or for her?
No, like the money from her. I mean, for
Right,
you,
right,
for you,
okay.
for her, yeah. For me.
Gotcha. I was just confused. Okay. If you say so. I mean, I feel perfectly fine.
Good.
If I'm being honest.
Good. And with that, she turns and she walks away. And after about 30 seconds, Crimson Guard comes in, one that you have not seen before. And he unlocks the door and says, "Oh, looks like your bail's been paid. Just try not to break into any more buildings. I'd hate to see you back here."
Faust will kind of scoff that off and just ask if he knows where a nearby cobbler shop is.
Yeah, and he'll give you directions to one over on in the Golden Market, which is pretty close to the Citadel.
Now, is that where all the rich stuff is?
No, the Golden Market's more of a commoner market.
Okay, I'm fine with that. Faust
It's,
will go on his way.
on the map, it's this place right here. I don't think anyone saw that. Weird.
I see now. Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Not before grabbing his stuff though. He will
Right.
take his stuff.
All your stuff is released to you. All right, and with that, I'm going to cut over to everyone else for a bit, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
All right. Everyone else, we'll say it's the same morning. You guys slept peacefully, I hope. First things first. Arlen,
Yes.
roll me a stealth check, please.
Okay. And by the way, Arlen did not sleep peacefully, but that's okay.
That's fair.
It's not okay. That's not good for your health. Okay. Muri.
I rolled an 8.
Yep. Muri, this is a bit retroactive, but just for your knowledge, Arlen has been sneaking out at night to where you know not, but almost, what would you say, Arlen? Almost every night?
Yeah.
In the past couple of weeks, she's been sneaking out, not doing a great job of it.
Yeah, probably not doing a great job of it because Miri pretty often just sleeps at the kitchen table. And now that you have the map, you know that that's right fucking next to the stairs.
Mm-hmm. So, yes, she has been sneaking out. You don't know where to. She'll go away. She'll come back several hours later. And she thinks that no one knows.
Because she's been going out the attic window.
Yep.
She hasn't been, like, coming downstairs.
But still getting used to dwarf body, a bit bulkier, not as lithe as a half-elf.
Yeah.
Really
I need
having
to-
trouble getting from that second floor to the ground.
Hits the ground like a bag of bricks.
So as
I
far
have a ladder.
So yeah, Arlen, as far as you know, yeah, no one knows. You've been so successful here because no one's brought it up, right? If someone knew, they obviously would have said something by now.
Yeah.
All right. So I don't know if that's going to be important in any way or not, Murray, but just for your knowledge.
Gotcha. Okay.
All right. So we'll say it's the next morning. Murray, Rhea, and Arlen, what are you guys doing?
Did you have a question? Or...
No, I'm trying to think what I was doing. Like, wait, I don't know. I'm not getting ready for stuff. I'm just, like, going about.
Yeah, it's been a pretty peaceful 2 weeks. I'll tell you what, guys, actually, what I can do, because it has been a few weeks, and you guys, hear things there and there. If you want, if you wish, and Rhea, this would include you as well, you can do something we don't do very commonly here in this session, but I think this might, or in this campaign, but this might be a good time to do it. You can roll a dice to see what kind of rumors you guys hear or pick up. Basically just scuttlebutt you hear around town. If you choose to. If you think your character would never pay any attention to any such things or would be locked away in the orphanage or something, you don't have to roll it. But if you want to, let me know.
What are we rolling?
Yeah.
I'll first let me know if you want to.
Yes, I want to roll.
Okay. It's going to be a diplomacy check. That's not an actual thing in 5th edition. Oh, yeah, it is. Wait, give me a second. I'm forgetting what stats are.
Deception, like an investigation? Or...
Yes, let's do that. Investigation.
So, Arlen rolled an 18.
Okay, Rhea rolled a 12. Miri, what about you? Are you going to be doing such a roll?
Nah.
Okay.
Okay.
It's not something she'd particularly pay attention to.
Sorry, I realized what I was going to be doing over the past time. So,
okay, got it.
Arlen.
Mm-hmm.
Arlen's just like, since she found where all the dwarfs go and shop, she's also like kind of bought new clothes that actually fit. Because up until this time, she's been wearing her old clothes that were super baggy, and like the sleeves and the pant legs were all rolled up and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So. She went and bought new clothes, and she's like kind of completely changed her appearance. Whereas before she was wearing like really kind of stuffy, noble-ish clothing that was functional, but like white. Like, let's be honest, only noble people who like don't do hard work wear white clothes.
Right. Gotcha.
But she's wearing more like down-to-earth stuff.
And things that fit.
Yes.
Good. All right. So here's the way this is going to work. Both Rhea and Arlen, you both passed. I'm then going to ask you to roll a D100 so that I know. Basically, passing means that you learned a rumor. Rolling higher or succeeding higher doesn't necessarily mean you get a better or more relevant rumor, because that would defeat the point of rumors. You don't know if these are important or not. Does that make sense?
Sure.
So I would like both of you to roll me a D100 to see what kind of rumors you heard. And I want you all to know some of these are red herrings. Some of these are possibly important. Some of them are just interesting. Some of them could lead to stuff. It's kind of all up to you. Okay, 94 and 72. All right. Arlen, I'll go with you first.
Okay.
You heard on one of your nights wandering the town, right? Because there's always parts of the town that are awake in Corvosa. It doesn't matter what time of night. And wandering the streets at one point, you were passing a tavern, and you heard talk about something very interesting that they were talking about. Apparently, a couple nights ago, a ship with black sails sailed into the harbor and actually crashed into the sandbar in the harbor and sunk. And the interesting thing is, apparently there was no one on board. It did not hail any signals. There was never anyone sighted or found on board. No one jumped from the ship when it started sinking and it hit the cliff. There was really, as far as anyone knows, there was nobody on the ship. And that's why it's being talked about, because there's rumors of, oh, it was a ghost ship, or, oh, maybe it was, people were killed by pirates and the ship was just set adrift and found its way into the harbor. The only other thing of information you pick up on it that was marked as kind of strange was a single lantern was set on the main mast of it. Roll me an intelligence check.
Okay. An 8.
All right. Yeah, so that's what you hear. That's the rumor you pick up. The town is a mildly abuzz by it. It's nothing that it's not making the newspapers, but it's interesting. It's not something that happens every day. So people like talking about it because it's spooky and kind of cool.
Okay.
But as far as you know right now, it's sunk at the bottom of the harbor. Rhea.
Yep.
Your rumor, you rolled a 72. Got it. You hear something interesting. Oh, yeah, you hear something interesting. Give me 1 second. I don't want to give you wrong information. I got to look something up now. I know, but just bear with me for a second because this is somewhat important.
Not a problem.
Oh gosh, where do I have that? Where is my notes on that? All right, I'll just ask. Arlen, what's your dad's name? I don't have his notes pulled up. Arlen?
Yeah, sorry, I forgot too, so I'm looking.
Okay. His name. So basically, Callum. Thank you very much. You hear rumor. This was probably when you were in Citadel Corvosa. You heard a rumor not only that Callum had replaced the previous arbiter as the head arbiter, but that, strangely enough, the guards were commenting on the fact that he has seemed to have cut ties with the Church of Abadar. He was a very, very loyal advocate of the Church of Abadar. And the Church of Abadar, for you guys, because you would all know this because it's a big thing in the city, the Church of Abadar is a cross between a clerical monastery and a bank. They have clerics in their order that provide healing and clerical type magics. However, they the god Abadar is very big into commerce, trade, and money. So they are very big sticklers about yeah, sure, we'll heal you if you pay us, if that makes sense. They're not very big into what is it, acts of kindness or benevolence or charity. And Calum? Right?
Callum.
Thank you. Sorry, Callum. Callum was a big advocate for the church, worked very closely with them. Seems to have cut ties recently.
All right.
So those are the two rumors you both find.
I had a question,
Hmm.
and this is kind of totally unrelated to the rumors thing.
Sure.
But so when we killed Spiders McGee, I burnt that ship.
Yes.
What happened to the rest of Eel's End? Is that still a thing?
Nope.
Okay, so it's just gone now.
Okay, so there are a few ships that are still afloat, but they are heavily damaged. They were all connected by wood. So that fire spread pretty fast and pretty thoroughly. While there are still the Eel's End itself, the ship, and some of the closer ships to it have sunk. There are 2 other ships that are very badly damaged, but they are still floating, but they're permanently attached to the mooring. So as far as Eland itself, it was a big thing, talk of the town, that a fire swept through Eel's End, damaged the ship, supposedly killed Devargo, and many other people on there. So the good news is, and you're slightly lucky for this one, it also rained that night. If it had not, that fire most likely would have spread to the city itself.
Yeah, and that was the night the riot started too. So.
Mm-hmm. All right.
End of question. Sorry.
Yeah, sure. Oh, that was your question. Got it.
Yes.
So, Arlen. Sorry, it would take me way too long to type it out. I'll just let you know. Yes, as far as Arlen knew, you are absolutely correct. This would be news to you. All of it. Gotcha? You there?
Damn it! I keep hitting mute. Yeah, I just wanted to mention, like, the last Arlen knew, her father was a member of the Church of Resmir, the Living God.
Correct. He was.
So...
As far as as long as you were growing up, that is who he publicly supported and also privately. He was a big fan of that. So you didn't hear this rumor, so you wouldn't know anything about it. But if you did, him even being connected to the Church of Abadar, it might make sense for his character, right? But this would be news to you.
Just making sure we have the right backstory.
Yep. Nope, we're good.
Okay.
All right. Okay, so those are rumors you have all picked up during the course of the week. We'll say that it's the next morning. Is there anything of importance you guys would want to do? Rhea, this is your first time waking up in the new orphanage. You're woken up by the voices of loud children downstairs. Well, actually, it depends. Are you an early waker or a late waker?
She'd get up early.
Then you would not be. You'd probably be woken up by the sounds of pots and pans, as Muri seems to almost not sleep.
We're a bunch of insomniacs.
She's just one of those people that like always rises at 5 a.m. for some ungodly reason to make breakfast.
Oh boy. Okay. Rhea will just go downstairs and say good morning then.
Muri?
And sit there in silence. No. Muri's a tad busy, but she will greet you.
Do you need any help?
No, child. I've done this enough times.
I don't mind.
No, child. I don't need help, but thank you.
Okay.
You take tea with your meals.
Sure. Yes, please.
Of course.
And I would say maybe some time passes, kids start to wake up. Arlen, are you early or late sleeper?
Well, she's been, sneaking out at night, so
Mhm.
she's definitely a late sleeper.
Gotcha.
Will only wake up when the kids get really loud.
Right, because you are up in the attic.
Yeah.
You have some space, some time.
Yeah.
Okay. So some time would pass. The kids start waking up, and right around the time food's ready, it's almost as if the smell. I would assume, Weary, with your precision and your schedule, that's almost an alarm clock.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. So right around breakfast time, kids would start waking up and coming out of their rooms and having breakfast. We can go ahead and just handle this narratively, unless there's any interactions that you guys want to have, say, over breakfast. We can kind of skip ahead. It's completely up to you.
You can definitely handle this narratively, but we would be paying attention, sort of quietly, not like all up in their business, but she will be kind of paying attention to the new members of the party, to both Rhea and Bard. What's her name?
Shala?
Shala.
All right. It should be pointed out, Shala comes down fairly late, and when she comes down, she is dressed to the nines. Beautiful black and lavender dress. Her hair is done up in curls. Her makeup is flawless. She looks beautiful, as if she was. She looks just as well dressed as she did the night she gave the performance.
And everybody else in this fucking house is in their pajamas, so
Yep.
I'm sure. Yeah.
What are you talking about? Rhea's dressed.
Why? Don't
You
you have
judging
like,
me?
comfortable clothes that you wear in the house? And then you change
Doesn't
clothes
mean
to go
she has to
outside?
be in pajamas.
Well, loosely speaking. Loungewear.
Yeah, loungewear is a new concept for Arlen, so, you know, she would have fully supported Rhea being in normal clothes.
Okay, so everybody's dressed except the children. Gotcha.
No, Arlen's now, like, in much more, like, casual earth tone wear clothes. You know.
Yeah, she's more earthy now.
She's closer to it, certainly.
Mm-hmm. So Shala would come down. She'd be very polite, very I'm trying to think of a better word than meek. She's very, very quiet, very polite, very quick to answer any questions, but not one of many words. Rhea, if you start playing, when you start playing the pan flute, she would wait until you finish a song, and then she would say, "That's very beautiful. You're very good at that."
Oh, thank you. My mother taught me.
Do me a favor. This isn't going to change what she said, but roll me a performance check
Performance?
to see whether she was lying or not. So do you have the pan flute as a? Oh, perfect. Yeah, you did. You did great. You got all the notes right. You played it at a fairly slow pace. You know, you didn't do it at like what you would do at a performance concert hall or anything. But yeah, you certainly know what you're doing. Yeah, and she says it's great to see that another that loves music.
Well, I do. It's one of the domains of my goddess, actually. That's,
Oh,
I suppose, partially why I love it so much.
oh, that's fantastic. I didn't know that there were any that had a domain in music. What god do you? I'm sorry if that's personal. I didn't mean to intrude.
Oh, no, not at all. It's, I worship Shellen.
Oh, I've heard of them. I did not know. That's so lovely to know that. Well, good for you. And then she kind of just kind of looks down at her breakfast and starts eating.
Rhea will, probably having finished eating a while ago, will, start playing again.
All right. What kind of music is this? Is this soft and gentle? Is this upbeat and happy?
It's, just some soft, gentle tunes that she's learned.
You'll have a few kids say, "Play something happier." Oh, play the Wooden Soldier.
What?
The Wooden Soldier. The Wooden Soldier's like a happy children's type song type thing.
Play Wonderwall.
Anyway, here's Wonderwall.
But you know, they say it half-heartedly, and then they'll be shushed by others' children or by Miri. I don't know if you would shush them or not.
Nah. They
If
they
they're-
get opinions.
If they're making requests, Rio will throw one in every
Okay.
now and then.
Sure. All right. And as that happens, time passes. Arlen eventually gets up and comes down. And we'll go ahead and fast forward to real quick. I gotta ask Faust, what are your plans for the day? Oh, wait, before we do that, Arlen, yes, you had pluses.
So yeah, I was gonna say when Arlen comes down and she's there at breakfast with the kids, she's gonna ask them if they want to hear a scary story. And then, of course, because they're kids, they're gonna say yes. So
Of
as soon
course.
as they want to, she's gonna tell them about the ghost ship rumor that crashed and how like these ghosts are now out searching for bad kids who get in trouble and don't do what they're supposed to. So they have to behave or the ghosts will come to get them.
Would it be fair to say that in the story you would have given like the description of the ship, like the black sails and the lantern?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. A single lantern.
Rhea,
Oh, no.
Rhea and Murray, roll me an intelligence check, please. Actually, roll me. Oh, that's fine, Rhea. You're good. You're good, Rhea. You don't have to re-roll me. Murray, roll me a medicine check.
Okay, hold on. I can find it. There we go.
Rhea, you're not a trained healer in the traditional sense, but you do have healing magic. You're I would imagine paladins in your order have dealt with healing from a large point of view, if that makes sense. You recall something about the story kind of grabs you. A single lantern on the mast. Maybe it's nothing, but something in your background, you're like, wait, that's like an old sailor sign for quarantine. That's like a warning for other ships to stay away. Now, doesn't mean that it's always used. There's been lots of ships that didn't even know that was a signal, and it's been a long time since you've heard that, but it does stick in your mind.
Ria will stop playing and she'll add that in. They say that ships with a single lantern, the lantern means quarantine.
That will catch Muri's attention. She's not spent a whole lot of time on boats and doesn't really. And the last one she was on, she set on fire. So this
Giant
this
quarantine sign.
Yeah. So this is kind of news to her, but she will keep that in mind.
The children giggle, and then they start like, congratulations for the next 2 or 3 days. They start trying to spook each other out, saying, "It's one of the ghosts from the ship." You just made Anna's time a bit more interesting.
It's okay. Towards the end of that story, Mary will interject and let all the children know that if they have nightmares about it, they can always go sleep with Arlen.
Yep, that's alright. I'll protect him. I've got loud noises and stuff that scare away ghosts.
I did want to bring up, part of the reason that I was watching both of the new people is that, number one, we had a tangle with some crazy last night. She's making sure that they are both unaffected and also are not going to try and replicate crazy in her house.
Right.
And also she's more. She feels that Rhea can be comfortable in pretty much any situation. But she's more concerned about the bard being uncomfortable, Shala.
Yeah, that is something that you notice from her. The entire time, every time you've seen her, with the one exception of when she was on stage, she does seem very nervous. She seems like just a nervous creature, very shy, very nervous, always looking around. She reminds you of someone who is excessively polite because they are worried to death of insulting someone.
Huh, okay.
Uh,
And she does give her jasmine tea.
give me an insight check, actually.
Oh, I just minimized that window.
Okay, yeah, that's all you
Oh, yeah.
basically get from it.
Plus fucking 7, and I rolled a 9.
I know. Dims the dice. But yeah, she's very polite. She's very grateful. She smiles a lot, but very, very quiet, like a mouse. If you ask her anything, she will answer politely, but she doesn't take too many conversation hooks, if that makes sense. She'll answer, but she doesn't expound without being pressed.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Okay. Then with that, Faust, again, I need to know, what are your plans for the day? I think I know, but I'd like to be sure.
Well, first of all, I want to go get some new shoes.
Right. That's easy enough to find. Shoes, you're looking at about, probably about 5 silver for a decent pair.
And I will spend at least 5 minutes walking around to them, making sure they're not squeaky.
Yep. It looks like you haven't given them the test of getting wet yet, but at least dry, they are not squeaky.
Okay, good. I'm gonna buy those new shoes.
Okay. Yep. 5 silver. Easily done.
I noted it in my treasure section.
Perfect.
How much do I know about the Church of Abadar?
You would know at least as much as everyone else. It is a monastery of clerics who are also act as bankers. You'll also you will know that they are the city's official bank, which is a very strange dichotomy where your healers are also your bank. But they are the official treasury of the bank, so much so that it is said that the mint for Quavrosian coins is actually held within their vaults.
That sounds like a theocracy. All right. Faust is interested in the Church of Abadar to go see what Raylan was talking about. But he'll probably go check up on Freya first to make sure she didn't get expelled too.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you make your way to the academy. Not sure what your expectations are, if you're expecting to be stopped or anything like that, but pretty much everyone just lets you walk by. They're used to you being there. As far as you can tell, there's no signs that anyone knows, or at the very least cares, that you've been expelled. You're able to walk right in, right through the dorms, and go up to Freya's room.
Oh, that's good. Okay. I will not knock because I do not know what that is. I will try to open the door. And it's probably locked.
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to attempt to lockpick the door open.
All right. Is this something that you have done before? I assume the answer is probably
yeah.
yes. I thought
Definitely many times.
So. All right. Go ahead and roll me a sleight of hand check at advantage.
Oh, thank God.
Yes, right. Well, you've done this block many times. So,
Someone's at my door. 1 minute.
sure.
Okay, I'm sorry. You can go back to what you were saying.
That's fine. So you pick the door open the lock, and you open the door to see Freya sitting at her desk reading some sort of tome.
You need to get a better lock. This thing's too easy to open. I don't even open doors normally like this.
Faust!
I usually just break them down.
Faust! You won't believe this. I just read the most fascinating thing. Like, she's obviously very used to you not knocking and just picking the lock and coming in. This does not seem to have upset her at all. She goes, "This is the most remarkable thing. This tome is apparently 300 years old, written in Chilaxian, and it has, well, The professor keeps calling it a useless spell, but I think that with the proper motivation, it could... New shoes?
Yeah, my last shoes were too squeaky.
I see. Anyway, I think that with the proper motivation, the spell could actually do a lot of good. Right. What are you here for? I thought you had duties to do in the morning.
Like what?
I don't know. Whatever you do for that wizard who's a Mr. Full of himself.
I mean, yeah, but it's not like I have to do stuff for him all the time.
Really?
Yeah.
You used to complain about having to do stuff for him all the time.
Well, I mean, doing stuff for him is annoying, but it wouldn't be true to say all the time. I mean, how could I come here and visit you otherwise?
So you just came by to say hi? Or to help me with my studying?
Sure.
Okay, good. Pick up that quill and that paper over there. Take the notes I dictate.
Okay.
And then she starts doing exactly that. Dictating
Alright.
notes on what she's reading. It's something about a summoning spell. A spell to summon a celestial hamster. Literally. And the thing is, you kind of understand now what the teacher said. Like, you've heard of spells to summon all kinds of things. You don't know what kind of use there would be for a celestial hamster.
Yeah.
Okay, hear me out. My theory is that the hamster wrote it. He's very lonely. Nobody ever summons him.
Please summon hamster. Hamster, good hamster.
Yes.
I will summon him.
I will question that. Why is she wanting to summon a hamster?
Okay. So this is what I was thinking. Is that a celestial hamster is somewhat translucent and a very non-aggressive or threatening creature, right? But most of the spells they teach here are to summon things more monstrous, things that supposedly could defend you in a fight. But I was thinking, imagine being able to have a celestial hamster that has to obey your every whim. You and I both know that familiars are, well, at least the ones you find here are dubious at best. Sometimes they follow your orders, sometimes they fly off into the city somewhere. But a hamster would always have to do what you tell it to, and they're so small. And why are you looking at me like that?
What do you mean they would always have to follow our orders? How different would it be from a normal familiar?
Oh, that's right. I suppose this isn't your field. No. A summoned creature has to do what you tell it to. If you manage to summon it, you gain essentially control of it. A familiar, on the other hand, I suppose it all depends on how strong a bond and relationship you create with it, but I'm sure you've seen the imps that students attempt to bind as familiars and fail horribly.
That would probably explain a lot of the warehouses that have been burned down, yes.
Yes, and the fights between them and the house drakes that pop up once in a while. But a hamster, no hamster's gonna set a building on fire.
I mean, with the right tools, I'm sure it could.
Now it's her turn to give you a look. She's like, in any case, I think I am... Oh, gosh. Oh, I'm running late for class. Well, it was good for coming. I'm so glad that you were here. And she'll, rush over and give you, a kiss on the cheek. Don't get into trouble. And, say... Well, no, don't say hi to that wizard for me. Just stay safe.
Yeah. I'll try my best, I guess.
She grabs, a bunch of books and, rushes out the door.
Okay. I need to get a new lock for this room. Lock's too easy to break open. You will keep that in mind. What is he doing now? What time is it?
Probably around noon.
Alright, he knows his favorite place to go pester people. He's gonna go there.
You mean to your
He's
new
going-
favorite place? Or is this an old favorite place we don't know about?
No, sorry. Yeah, the orphanage.
Okay, got it. All right, so around noon or so, you guys get well, I don't know exactly how Frost is going to approach this, but we'll go ahead and fast forward to around that time back at the orphanage. Faust, what's your intention? What are you doing this time?
He's probably too timid to just immediately go walk up to the door, and we'll try to observe them while disguised as someone else through a window.
Got it. What would he see in the orphanage around noontime?
Probably lunchtime.
Sure, makes sense.
Probably
What's
lunch and then like communal nap time.
Okay, we'll go ahead and
He-
say. Oh, go ahead, Arlen.
He would also see Arlen up in the attic working with the windows open because I'm sure it's hot up there.
Gotcha. All right. So we'll say that it's communal nap time because it was right around noon when you were at the academy. It takes you some time to get there. So we'll say that what you observe, it looks like a lot of the orphans are sleeping in various places in the orphanage. Muri's kind of bustling around, making sure they're okay, cleaning, things of that nature. You also see another woman who you did not see before, with brown curly hair, who seems to be helping Muri go about the chores and stuff. Muri, I'm talking about Anna, of course.
Yeah.
And you might see Rhea and Shala. It depends. Actually, yeah, you'd probably see Shala playing violin to kind of lull the children to sleep somewhere.
Rhea would probably attempt to help.
Sure. Roll me another performance check.
Yep. Squeak and wake up the children.
No.
Nope.
Okay. Maybe it's playing next to someone who is quite obviously extremely skilled, kind of causes you to rise up to the occasion. You at first intended maybe to just do a little bit of accompaniment, something to help, right? Because you know how to play, but I'm sure you wouldn't consider yourself a professional bard by any means. But that said, by the end of it, maybe it's, like I said, maybe you rose up to the occasion. Maybe it's also Shala kind of leading the song in directions that played to your strength. But you were also able to take over, and you both play a very lovely duet together.
According to plan.
So that's what you see, Faust.
All right. His main interest is Arlen, but I guess he doesn't mind lesser mortals. He'll probably walk up to the door and consider knocking, but give it like 5 or 10 minutes before he actually makes up his mind.
Would he still be in his costume, or would he look like himself?
He would not think to change.
So he would be disguised as someone else.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
All right.
You said he knocks at the door?
Well, he's sitting there like pacing around like frantically, like thinking about it, like whether he wants to knock on the door or not, or just climb up and jump through a window. Because he really doesn't want to be a plebeian, but he knows that's probably a smarter approach.
All right.
Can I do a perception check?
I was going to
like,
say, Rhea, Arlen, and Murray all do a perception check, please. Because now there's this person just standing in front of your door. Arlen's too focused. Oh, Rhea's too focused. Murray, on the other hand...
No.
Mary, on the other hand, has been keeping her eyes peeled for crazy today.
Yes, absolutely. Ray is concentrating on the song, keeping up with Shala. Arlen's in the attic doing Arlen things. Murray, on the other hand, is ready for this. You notice someone walk up to the door and seem to consider whether or not they should do something, but they've been standing there for quite some time.
Okay, Muri will slip out the door and what do you look like right now?
I guess I just look like when I think commoner, I guess like a maybe a brown tunic and like cargo shorts, but like medieval cargo shorts.
Right, so baggy pants that are cut high around the knee.
Yeah,
like burlap pants type thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so something that is feasible for her to just see. Okay, so she'll step out and she'll sort of look you up and down and say, "Can I help you?"
Oh, I've got it. And Faust will cast Mage Hand and knock on the door.
She's standing right there.
Yeah, I think he knows.
Do you still sound like yourself?
Yes, you
Yeah,
cannot
probably.
disguise
Oh,
your voice.
it's this fuck. Okay.
Yeah,
Well, I
the
can
hat of
disguise my voice,
the hat of disguise does not disguise your voice.
Yeah, if I wanted to make an actor check, I
Correct.
could, but I'm not trying to. I'm trying to open a door.
Yeah. Somewhere sounds just like him.
Sounds. Oh boy. So it sounds like him, and you just used Mage Hand to knock on the door that she's standing outside of. Am I correct so far?
Yeah.
She just sort of, because she wasn't expecting that voice to come out of this person's body. You see her kind of startle, and then you see it click. The connection has been made, and she just goes right back inside the house and locks the door behind her.
Before you can go back in, Faust will be like, "What? I thought it was proper courtesy to knock." No. He will...
She doesn't look at you. She doesn't say anything. The door is locked behind her.
Knocking didn't work. Maybe I should try Acid Splash. I'm sure that'll be great.
Faust,
Oh boy.
as you're
Yeah?
considering this, someone else walks up next to you, and you turn and look at them, and it is a fairly tall individual, young, short blonde hair. You've not seen them before, but they seem to be wearing, normal clothes, somewhat similar to yours, actually. And they walk up to you and go, "Oh, I'm sorry, I needed to knock on the door. Were you here for the, do you mind?"
You want me to knock on the door?
"No, I would like to knock on the door. It's urgent. I need to speak to the people inside. Are you with them?"
Yeah. Here, why don't we knock on the door together?
We'll hold hands.
Roll
and do
me
it
a
at the same
persuasion check.
time.
Yeah, he goes, sure, okay. And he will knock on the door. Muri, everyone inside, you hear a very hearty knock on the door. Like a heavy knock.
Okay. She's gonna go back to the door and she's gonna look out the window first.
You see Van Casterkin standing there, for the first time, not in uniform. Next to Faust.
She will open the door for him and she will go, "You come in. You stay."
Van
Faust will
Casterkin...
knock on the door again.
Van Casterkin will look at you and Muri, and he'll go, "Okay." And then he'll step inside.
We're
Have
gonna
I-
look around and call up the stairs. "Arlen."
Okay, yeah, I'll come down the stairs now and be like, "Yeah, what's up?"
Your admirer is here.
What? I'm
Not you.
like Van Casterkin just blushes.
I would have looked.
I
I
don't
would looked at him like, what?
He goes, I don't even know her.
The one from jail.
Oh, you mean last night? Oh, right. I thought he might show back up.
And Van Kestriken will say, hold a hand out. I'm sorry, I don't believe we've met. I'm, Guard Van Kestriken. I am, and he looks sidelong at Murray, a friend, I hope?
Of course.
Oh, hi. It's nice to meet you.
And,
What brings you here?
oh, gosh, right. Murray, I need your help.
With?
My niece. She's very sick. I know that you have the ability to cure or use magic to heal, and I don't really know who else to turn to. My sister-in-law, the wife to my brother, he was unfortunately murdered several years ago, but she and he had 3 children, and the daughter, Brenna, she's fallen very, very ill, and they don't have the money to get curing at the Church of Abadar. So I told them that I would find help, and I'm so sorry, but you were the only one I could think of.
It's all right. Of course I will help you. Describe to me what is wrong.
I don't know. She coughs a lot. She has sores on her face and a fever, and she's been
Should
getting
I
worse.
roll medicine for this?
Sure.
Can Arlen also roll?
Yeah, absolutely. Hey.
If it's not
Yeah.
on a boat, she knows what it is.
Arlen rolled a 13, and Maury a natural 20 for 27.
Weary. Arlen
Mhm.
sounds like any number of diseases. Generally, the sores is worrying. That's generally a very bad sign. But it could be a number of things. It's not enough for you to go on. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Murray, same thing. You're able to narrow it down, but what you can tell is just from what he said alone, sores, coughing, high fever, probably pretty bad if not treated.
Mhm.
Can't tell exactly what it would be without getting an actual good look at them for yourself, but that is not a good combination in any way,
Okay.
shape, or form.
So she will hear him out, and then she will ask him if he's been in direct contact with her.
No. Tacy has not let any of us get near her except herself. But she's been getting worse, and well, thank you. Could you follow me? Could we go now?
Yes.
Thank
Let
you.
me gather my things, and I will come with you.
Thank you. And then, like, as Mary goes to gather her things, he's kind of standing there awkwardly with 3 girls he's, as far as he knows, never met before. And he goes, "Oh," and he'll like rub his hand on his pants and offer it out to Rhea. Van Kesterken.
Oh, Rio's probably like preoccupied watching the children or something, and she'll hold her hand out to him. I'm Ria. It's lovely to meet you.
You as well. New here? I haven't seen you before.
Yes, I'm relatively new to the city.
Wait. I have seen you. You're that paladin that was at the Citadel.
Oh, yes.
Sorry, I just didn't recognize you without all the... And he kind of motions, like, around you. Armor.
Oh, yes, well, it is quite heavy.
Yes, of course. I'm sorry. And, again, I'm sorry, Van Kesterken. And he holds a hand out to Shala, and Shala just kind of folds her hands and goes, I'm Shala. Pleasure to meet you. Arlen, do you think... Well, I do know a little bit of healing magic. Maybe I could come too?
Yeah, I mean, the more people who know, the better.
Oh, okay. I don't know if I'll be of help, but I'd hate to think that I could be and I didn't come. Would we say that's a fair time for Mary to like get her things and come back into the room? All right, so you would hear the tail end of that, Mary.
Yes, she wants to let them help, but she also wants to limit exposure. Because you live in a house of children, you try not to give it to the rest of the kids. So she will allow it. But she'll have to like take special precautions to make sure that like, you know, she's wearing a lot of cloth, and a lot of extraneous cloth can transmit gross shit.
Right. And Charlotte would say, I could wait outside or whatnot. I'd just be close by if you needed me.
Of course.
And then she would run and she would go grab like a small, I think you saw this at the you saw this when she brought it home. A small, very intricately designed backpack in which she opens up, takes her violin, very carefully puts it in a case with a bow next to it, and proceeds to put it in the backpack all the way in, even though quite obviously it should not fit in that backpack. She goes,
Wow.
Okay.
Lead the way.
And Van Casterkin nods. Real quick, as they're doing this, Faust, roll me an athletics check.
Yay. My voice died. Yay. What?
Wow. Not a natural one, but a one all the same.
Wow.
He tries to like climb up one of the posts and he misses.
So
Doesn't even touch it.
So no. So here's what happens. Right when Van Casterkin opens the door in a rush, he's obviously in a hurry. He opens the door right as you start to climb. The act of him doing so startles you, and you just fall flat on your back. As Van Casterkin, Weary, Arlen, are you coming? Arlen and Ray, are you guys coming?
Well, when I see this, I'm gonna say, you know what? I need to sort this out with Faust, Moiri. Why don't you go ahead?
We will put a hand on her shoulder and go, be safe.
I could stay behind if you like.
She's probably already told Anna about this, so she knows that, like, if she leaves, she'd prefer not to have him in the house.
Oh, yeah, I'm gonna have him come for a walk away from the house with me.
Okay. So, yeah, that's mainly what she's... You're a grown-ass woman. You can take care of your own shit.
All right. So then it is Weary, Rhea, and Shala following Van Casterkin. Arlen is going to have a chat with Faust.
But Faust would stop her though before they like actually split up and say, "No, don't let me distract you. Let's follow them. Where are they going?"
Then we will follow them, but we will walk at a distance behind. And because I have message, walkie-talkies, I can hear like what Mary is saying if she needs me or something.
Oh, okay. Makes sense.
So I will follow behind them with Faust.
So we'll say you guys are about 20 feet behind.
Sure, I was thinking like 50 to 100, but yeah.
Well, 50 to 100 in the city, you're not going to be able to see them.
Close enough that we can see them,
Gotcha. But far enough away that you're not within earshot and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Got it. With you. All right. So Van Casterkin starts leading you guys through the city streets. It is in not too far away. It's in northeast Corvosa, not in old Corvosa, but right around this area right here. Did you see my ping?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Right around there. So he starts leading you that way. And Arlen, you kind of hold Faust back a ways and continue following them.
Yeah, so while we're walking, I'm gonna, ask for Faust, I'm trying to be very careful about who knows who I am. The people who know who I am. I'm trying to not spread around my new identity to the entire world, and you're not really helping, Faust.
Well, why is that? I mean, this is a work of miracles. I'm sure many would love to hear about it.
Perhaps one day, but I think right now, it would be in my best interest if people don't know who I am. I'm trying to cut ties with my former life, of sorts.
Oh, are you a criminal in your past life? Is that why you kept hearing my squeaky shoes? Oh, that makes more sense. I see. And he will start noting that down.
Not exactly a criminal per se, but more I don't need the kind of attention that I seemed to attract before from certain unsavory types.
Like a noble or like a celebrity? What's going on here?
Well, first the person who shot me or killed me with a fireball, I would prefer that he thinks I'm still dead. First of all, that would be helpful that he doesn't know that I'm alive. I think that should be enough reason.
I mean, why don't you just make him not alive?
Sorry, say that again?
Why don't you just make him not alive? Or
Well,
kill
that's
him?
the goal, eventually. But I tried, and it backfired royally. And a friend of mine was not so lucky to be reincarnated.
Oh.
So perhaps when I do finally find Gadrian and send him to the life thereafter, then maybe we can be a little bit low. But until then, I would appreciate some discretion.
Do I know who Gadrian is? Like I know as a character who he is, but just does my character know?
Roll me an intelligence
Squee?
check.
Oh,
I was muted. Sorry. Roll me an intelligence check, please. Nope. Never heard of him.
That does not surprise me. Is that like a type of meat? Like Gadrian?
No, he's a very bad man. He has done some very bad things to Mwiri and myself and some other people.
Well, yeah, if he killed you, that's probably pretty bad. Well, that's why don't we just go kill him back? I mean, that doesn't sound that difficult.
You know where he is?
I'm sure we could find him.
Well, that is ultimately my goal, but I'm not entirely sure that if I faced him that I would not meet with the same results.
You want me to roll?
I
No,
think
that's a joke.
that was a
Okay,
joke.
gotcha. Yeah. Well, no. Here's the thing. Like, out of character, I happen to be very close to someone who attends the School of Divination. I'm sure we could.
Well, we might take you up on that one day, but like I said, I'm not. I
Wait a
faced
minute.
Gadrian and I failed, and I don't think I am ready to face him again.
I didn't say that in character. You don't know anything about her still.
Okay, anyways, that's what I was saying is like, I faced them, I died, I'm not ready to face him again. But I think you might be able to help me.
Okay. Go on.
Well, I realize that you're interested in learning more about the afterlife, and you have resources at the university or the academy as a student.
Right. Yeah.
I need a place that's safe to conduct some experiments in a room that, say, doesn't have a bunch of children downstairs.
Oh. Well, I can tell you that place isn't safe. You're more likely to, be turned into some awful amalgamation or be blown up if you go there than probably anywhere else in the city.
At the academy?
Yeah. Especially, like, at my school. Like, it's terrible. The School of Conjuration just hates us. And some, turf wars aren't supposed to be a thing, but they exist.
Well,
I mean, I do know a place there that's not so bad, but it's not my place. So I can't tell you yes or no.
well, I know that you want to ask me questions about my miracle, as you put it, I think.
Yes. I want to compile a complete report about you and publish it.
Well, in exchange, I would help you on two conditions. The first one is that we do this as an actual legitimate scientific investigation. That means you have to have a survey written out beforehand of actual questions so that any data you collect, you can use the same format and collect data on other people. This has to be a rigorous scientific study. And I know that the Academy may not be so big on science and woo, magic, yay! But if I'm going to be involved, this needs to be done the right way. That's condition one.
You say the right way, but when have you ever heard of someone doing this? There isn't really a right way. It just sort of happens. I don't think there's a science behind this. I've never heard of something like this, and I've been spending most of my life studying it.
Well, that's just because people don't actually care to find out the true reason behind all of this magic things. It's like, oh, something dies. Oh, magic. These things come and now we have maggots and it must be magic because we can't imagine that there's much smaller organisms that we can't see and stuff like that. And no, those maggots didn't spontaneously generate. They actually came from flies and There's actually reasons behind this. It's not just woo poof magic. There's actually rules and physics and things undermining it. We just don't quite understand all of it yet.
I see what you mean, but I don't see how a survey is going to help you develop a deeper understanding of this.
It will help actually develop a method that you can then use to interview further people. It's so, like, I don't want to. I mean, we can continue if you want me to continue to convince Faust that, you know, the scientific method is the best way. But
He leans more towards science than magic anyway, but he just doesn't understand the point of a survey. Like, he would understand it if it weren't for the fact that he's so astonished by your case. Like, he does not expect it to be repeated.
Well, you know, would we have heard about reincarnation before?
You guys certainly hadn't. No. Doesn't mean the world hasn't, but you guys weren't aware of it.
Like, even staying with the Shoanti, I would have never heard of anything.
Mm-mm.
Okay. Well, you know what? I was there, and they I can't remember her name. The assistant to Serenray. She had said it wasn't my time, and she made it seem like it was no big deal and business as usual. So I can't imagine that I'm the only person.
Real quick, because I know it's been a while. It wasn't the assistant to Serenray. It was a druid that was visiting the temple.
That after I talked to Pharasma?
Wait, what? No, the one who actually performed the resurrection on you.
That was
I think
Thousand
she's
Bones.
talking about the celestial being that appeared to take her back.
Yeah. I'm talking about the
okay. I see what you're saying. Yeah.
After I talked to Pharasma, there was another person who was saying something about my time's not over.
Got it. Sorry, I'm following you now. My apologies.
Sorry.
I'm just gonna mute my mic.
I'm sorry if that wasn't clear. But, you know, this person made it seem like it was no big deal, so I feel like they're, you know, maybe it's just me. If it was, you know, never happened before, they would have been like, oh my god, you know. And they weren't, so it made me think it was business as usual. It's happened before, and so there have to be other people. You know.
I mean, gods are pretty powerful. I've met a few. I don't know if it adds up just like what you're saying. There could be other explanations behind it, easily.
Perhaps, but how are you going to know? How are you going to know the information that you gather from me, you know, can apply to other people? You have to go about this in a systematic manner.
My intent with this information isn't to apply it to other people. It's simply to learn something I still don't understand.
What good is knowledge if you're not gonna share it?
Oh, I am. I'm going to publish it. I just don't expect to be comparing it to anything else. Outside of personal interest, that is.
But why wouldn't you compare it to other things?
I mean, you're free to compare it with other stuff when I'm done. You'll have
She wants to
full
know why
access.
you're not going to peer review this.
Exactly.
Who am
That's
I
a
going to peer
critical
review
step
this
in this
with?
process.
That's the issue. It's still though. Who am I going to peer review this with?
The greater academic world. You people at the academy just do things weird. The university is much better.
I mean, the person above me there, as you saw, he made an utter ass of himself at the party, but he's really not above me.
Okay, so
There's not
as I said,
people
two
to compare
conditions.
this with.
So two conditions. We're going to do this as, you know, a scientific investigation. We can discuss methods, and I'm sure we will have long debates. And the second condition is that you help me find a place where I can do more risky experimentations and not have to worry about little kids.
Okay. So let me ask you a few things.
Sure.
How squeamish are you?
Not.
Do you know what a gibbering mouther is?
I do not.
Ah. Would you like me to enlighten you? He'll say this while pulling out like his journal.
Sure.
I have no idea how. Should I just try to describe this? Like, I have a picture for it, but I don't have it.
Sure. Then
will-
try and describe it.
Let me pull it up. It would look almost like a spaghetti ball, but instead it is a bunch of coagulated pounds of flesh with a bunch of different mouths and tentacles coming out of it and eyes. You can tell by the like differences in mouths. It looks like it's a bunch of different heads kind of just stuck together and like gelled almost. I'm trying to think how to describe it better than this.
A bunch of
It's
flesh with eyes and a mouth.
yeah, that's
that
my
looks
pet.
like
His name's
spaghetti. His name's what?
Joseph.
Yosef.
Yes.
Does he speak?
I mean, he kind of growls. If that classifies as anything.
Okay.
Anyway, there would be a lot of things like that in my lab. If you're okay with that. I should clarify. He isn't hostile at all. Sweetest thing actually. Just not the prettiest. But that's the sort of things you'd find there. You might also run into other students thinking that you're into the school of necromancy and summoning elementals trying to burn down your anyway. It is a bit dangerous.
That's fine. You sure he won't bite?
Only if you ask him to?
Don't worry, I won't be asking.
The other thing is, I don't know how dangerous. What are you wanting to use my lab for? I should specify.
I like to build things. Things that shoot projectiles and make a lot of noise and small mechanical gadgets. And
that's out of the question. Never mind. Yeah. So if you want to use my lab, I'm sure I could make you adequate target dummies. They might make noises though. I hope you don't mind.
Oh, I don't need target dummies. I don't really feel safe experimenting with gunpowder around small children.
Little ones? There's... Oh, that's right. Yes, the orphanage, right?
Yeah.
I have a little one of my own, actually. Yeah, I guess I see what you mean.
So, do we have a deal?
Sure, but if you don't mind me asking, where are they going? And I'll say this like pointing at like Mwiri.
They're going to check on our friend's child, who appears to be ill.
What is it with little ones? Why are there so many? Man, okay. Oh, ill. Oh, I can take care of that. I'm sure it won't be any big problem. What's wrong?
She has a cough, sores on her face, a high fever. Just general illness symptoms.
Do I need to make a medicine check on this, or am I good?
Yeah, go ahead and make a medicine check on it.
I'm amazing.
I mean, that could be a number of things.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm sure just stopping by. Won't do any harm. I'm actually a doctor, even if I don't look it. But,
What,
without a
really?
medical license, I sometimes bring things back from the dead more than I heal actual people. Yes, I am a doctor. I just
So
don't
when
really go outside.
she Arlen's now like interested in finding out more about Faust because her brother was studying to be a doctor and doing things with medicine and healing people and things like that. So she has.
Well,
You may want to perform an insight check on that, because when he says that, he's not like a licensed, like, professional doctor.
So yeah, Arlen's gonna start like asking you different things, like, "Hey, what is your thought about this or that?" In a
So-
way of doing an insight check.
yeah. Well, actually, just go ahead and Faust, roll me a deception check, and Arlen, roll me an insight check.
Ah, I am a doctor.
Yeah, I mean, he
17.
he knows at least as much as you think a doctor should know.
Yep. Okay.
I've been sticking dead corpses together for a long time. I know most of the parts by now.
And it's about that time when you guys notice that the group up ahead of you has slowed down, and Van Casterkin has leaded you, the other group, to it's a home that is it's squat. It's a 2-story wooden building, and it looks like it's in desperate need of repair. It has the feeling of like a home to a family that's too busy to bother with tedious chores. That kind of home. And it's definitely not in the rich neighborhoods. It's not old Corvosa by any means, but it's certainly not a family with means. And Van Castikin will stop outside and he'll say, "All right, this is Tasty's place. Just one moment." And he'll knock on the door. And after a few moments, the door will open. And by that time, they've stopped for a while, so that would be plenty of time for Arlen and Faust to catch up.
Okay.
And the door opens, and you guys see a... oh, there you go. A middle-aged woman with brown hair. She looks to be maybe in her mid-40s. Somewhat youthful, but definitely signs of age starting to creep in on her. She opens the door and she goes, "Ah, Van Casterkin. Well, welcome back. You brought friends?" "Hello. My name's Tacy Salado." And she'll just kind of look over each of you.
Okay, could you say her name really slowly?
Sure. Tacy? Here, I'll spell it out for
Tasty.
you guys, yeah.
I'm hearing tasty, and it's really freaking me out.
Soldado. Tacy Soldado.
Digging the Naruto hair. It's pretty great.
And she'll say, Are you here about Brynja?"
Yes. May we see her?
"Yes."
Faust will intervene, and he'll be like, "Oh, step aside. The doctor's here."
"Doctor? Oh. Well, the herbalist already came by. They couldn't do much good. And Van Castikin kind of like looks around and goes, well, I was hoping for something a bit more magical. But if you think you can help," and Tacy says, "Also, there's a priest from the Church of Abatar here as well, but he said that there wasn't much he could do. He'd already, well, expended his spells." And she kind of looks down, "and I couldn't afford it anyway. But please, come in. She's upstairs. I'll show you the way."
Before that, Faust will make a point to say that the priest was probably lying, and will then follow her.
Okay. Faust goes in. Weary, Rhea, what are you guys doing?
Rhea can probably recognize Faust, so she's going to follow him in and not leave him alone with anyone.
Got it.
I'm like not disguised at all. I'm just wearing my black robes and my bird mask, walking around, casually.
So yeah, definitely going to be following him.
Got it. Weary?
Yeah.
I am wearing proper equipment for this. You guys are not. No.
Weary, what are you doing?
So as she'll follow them in, but as she's going, she kind of mentions under her breath to whoever's closest that she's like, I sincerely doubt he's a doctor.
All right. So as you guys go in, Shala actually stays outside, as you and her discussed. As you guys go in, you see on the side of the house a gentleman in the robes of the Church of Abadar look up from what he's doing, and he says, "I'm sorry, did someone say I was lying about something?"
I'll like raise my hand and I'll like shoot off over to him. Yeah, if you came over here, why are you out of spells?
Unfortunately, my duties this morning at the Golden Palace required my miracles to be given to another. I told them that I'd be more than happy to come by tomorrow morning when I had prayed and had my miracles again, but it is a hefty fee.
No, that's not needed. Yeah, she should probably get the attention she needs today anyway. Just go ahead and go back to the church. I'll handle this.
Roll a deception check. He puts down the potion. He raises an eyebrow. Really? And you have much familiarity with these kind of things?
Sorry, I was looking at something. A potion?
No, familiarity with treating these kind of ailments. I haven't seen
Yes.
you around before. Where do you practice?
The academy.
The academy is not known for healers. Quite the contrary, actually.
You'd be surprised. You see a lot of people get close to or do die. Actually, I've been there a few times myself. Accidental fireball spell wasn't their fault, but
Yes, that's
I've
pretty much
rebuilt my
the
labs a few
opposite of
times.
healing.
No. You see though, at some point there has to be someone there with enough common sense to actually heal someone. I can indeed heal someone.
I see.
Uh,
Go ahead.
Arlen's gonna kind of break in and be like, Faust, maybe he might be a little bit better equipped to handle this. Why don't we just kind of watch, but maybe not interfere with his work?
I'll wave you down. I'll be like, no. He doesn't have much he can do right now because he doesn't even have his spells. Let me go take my own assessment of the case.
Mira, you had a plus sign?
Oh, yeah, she's already passed Faust by. Like, just...
Yeah, while they're arguing, Tacy has led you upstairs.
Yeah, anyways.
So Tacy leads you upstairs, and you pass by two young boys who are playing quietly in the living room. And she leads you upstairs into a room, opens the door, and you see a young girl lies in one of the beds. Her slight frame is dwarfed by the bed's size, and a pile of pillows, afghans, and other quilts and such are surrounding her. Give me a second here. Throwing a lot of things at you guys. As Brinya is lying in bed. As you enter the room, I'm sorry?
So it looks like Brianna.
Yeah, it's Brianna. I just don't know how to read. Sorry. The second you enter the room, you notice that there are splotches of an angry red rash covering her face and her arms, appearing in irregular shapes and sizes. And as you enter the room, suddenly she is interrupted by a violent fit of hacking coughs that jerk her the entire time. Like her entire frame gets jerked up out of the bed before the spasms pass and drop her back into the pillows. And Tacy says, "She was like this starting yesterday. She went out into town, and when she came back, she wasn't feeling well. And I mean, my children have gotten sick before, and I've treated them a lot, but nothing I did got her better, and the local herbalist was unable to do anything. I don't know what's wrong with her." Murray, make me make me another medicine check, please.
Okay.
Are we up there?
Only Mary at the moment.
Okay.
You guys
Are you
can.
telling me that after seeing that I wouldn't get competitive and follow her? Of course I would.
Okay, so
I
you
don't
just
care
like
about
turn
that
around
priest.
on the priest.
I don't care about him. I don't even know who he is.
All right, so you head up the stairs after her.
I'm sticking with Faust. I'm
got
trying to like
same with
insulate the world from Faust.
same with Rhea.
Thank you, because
I'm-
Muri's about to snap his neck.
You
Like,
can't snap my neck. I'll caw at you.
Oh boy. No, I'm sure that
Like-
Arlen and Muiri have him handled.
Okay, so you'll stay
Rhea will
downstairs.
Stay out of it.
All right. So Faust, you go up in the room. You see basically the same thing. You roll me a medicine check as well. Murray, before what you find, I'll have him roll as well. All right.
I'm the best.
Yeah. Murray, you have been doing this quite a while. You've never seen something like this before. These symptoms don't mix with any known disease that you are aware of. But what you can tell is she is burning up. She is deathly ill. And if she does not receive help soon, she has days, maybe. And you also know that since this is a disease you've never come across before, the only method in your arsenal to deal with this would be clerical methods. I believe you have cure disease, yes?
She would have access to lesser restoration.
Yeah,
which is
lesser
what I was going
restoration.
to use.
Yeah. But I don't know if lesser restoration would do it. Give me a second.
I would immediately run in the room and cast lesser restoration to assert my greatness. I don't need to diagnose this patient.
Give me a second.
I also have detect poison and disease. So if it's something,
I believe it specifies you can cure either one disease or one condition afflicting the creature. And the condition specific can be blinded, deafened, paralyzed, or poisoned.
Correct. So I guess Faust breaks into the room while you're assessing her, Murray, and begins chanting a spell that you're very familiar with. It's Lesser Restoration. You know that spell as well.
buddy, I'm begging you, please. Mary is a very patient person, but dude, you're on her last fucking nerve. I'm dead serious.
Listen, Faust knows that you're also a bird and a cleric, and he's competing to see who is the better bird cleric.
All right. So you cast the spell, and within about a minute or two, Brianna kind of opens her eyes and sits up, and she looks around. What? Who are all of you, Mom? And Tacy goes down to Brianna. Oh, thank God. Mom, who are all these people? Oh, They were just worried about you is all. They were here to help you get better. And then she looks up at you guys. Thank you so much.
Muriel will reach into her bag and pull out a honey candy and put it into the girl's hands. Your throat must be sore, dear.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. And she just kind of starts eating it. And Tacy stands back up and like kind of pulls Muriel away a little bit, and she goes, "So, I mean, is that it? She's all better?"
I will be very honest with you, young mother. This is not something I've seen before. If it reoccurs, I want you to tell me immediately.
I don't even know how would I get a hold of you. And you hear Van Kestingen say, "I can let you know. I will let you know."
Please do. I would like to ask her a question.
Oh, okay. And you see Brianna like just chomping on the sweet you gave her.
Yeah. She'll go over and she'll kind of kneel by her bedside and go, "Child, what do you last remember?"
I didn't feel very good.
You went to the market, right?
And she kind of hesitates. Yeah.
Did you see anyone there that you don't usually see? Or do anything you don't usually do? It's okay, you won't get in trouble, I promise.
No, I didn't. Go ahead and roll me an insight check.
Can I do that too? Because I was
Yeah.
actually gonna. Okay.
Sure.
'Cause I was
see.
gonna ask the
I
same
see
thing.
the pluses.
Yeah, I was gonna ask the exact same thing. Well, all right, 8. So, Erlen's doing so well today.
It's okay. So
Murray,
am I.
Murray,
Mm-hmm.
you know kids. She is nervous and avoiding something.
Mm-hmm. You hear the mom voice sort of creep back in. Sweetling, it's all right. You can tell me.
Well, I. And then she looks
It's all right.
at her mom. I found some money. I found it in an alleyway, and it was more money than I'd ever seen. It was like 50 silver pieces or something similar. Similar, she wouldn't say similar. Something like that, and I spent it. I'm sorry, Mom. I should have given it to you guys. I know the family struggles, but I spent it for myself at some of the shops. And yeah, there were people there I hadn't met before. And maybe I got sick because Desna was punishing me for being so greedy. I'm sorry.
Now, I think this can be forgiven. But I would like to see the alley where you found the money. Is that all right? When you feel better, I want you to rest, and I want you to drink plenty of water, and I want you to eat well.
She nods, and she'll tell everyone where the alley is. And Van Casting is like, I know that alley. I could take you there.
I'd like to see it.
Of course. And with that, the priest will come in the room too, and he'll say, "Thank you for that. I am glad that someone was able to help her. My name is Ishani. I am a cleric of the Church of Abadar."
A pleasure.
As
Tell me,
well.
how did you come to know of this?
Oh, Miss Soldado here requested my assistance. As I said,
understand.
I had already expended my miracles for the day, but I was going to try and give what comfort I could. It was a good thing that you came. I don't mean to impose upon you, but you definitely seem, and he looks around the room, skilled in such matters. Perhaps I could convince you to come back with me to the Church of Abadar. I would like to show you something.
Very well. Would you prefer? Has he overheard this conversation about the alleyway and the money?
Yes, yeah.
Okay. I would still like to visit for the chat. But would you prefer to do this before or after?
Before is fine. I think that's a wise idea, yes.
Very well. Lead the way.
Also,
What? Sorry.
I was going to say,
Sorry.
Muri, Arlen, I would like you both to roll me a Constitution saving throw. Faust, I'd like you to roll me a Constitution saving throw with advantage.
Arlen and Mary both roll 14s. Woohoo!
And so does Faust.
That is a lot of 14s.
That's a lot of 14s.
That's three
right.
different people rolling the same number.
Okay.
Hold on, I did the wrong thing. Sorry, I rolled a Constitution, not a saving throw. Is it a Constitution check or a saving throw?
Well, no, saving throw. What would your saving throw add to it?
+3.
Oh, then you're
So
fine.
17.
Yeah, you're fine. All right. I mean,
broke
it's
the streak of
16.
14s.
all right. Yeah, you broke the 14s. Nicely done.
I'm sorry.
All right.
But that's
So
like one of the advantages about a dwarf is I get like bonuses to
Yes, you do.
Constitution.
all right. With that, the priest says, I can accompany you, of course, if you would be so kind as to accompany me after.
Of course. Yes, lead the way. She'll say her goodbyes and again reiterate that if anything happens again, to let her know. And she will sort of subtly offer her help to the mom if she needs help, like with feeding them or taking care of them at all.
Tacy gives her eternal gratitude, and she says, thank you so much. I don't have much to pay you.
Kindness requires no price. That's a very subtle jab at the fucking Church of Abadar.
Yeah.
That she has very low opinions of.
Roll me a perception check.
I also have low opinions of them.
You can roll me a perception check too.
Good.
All right.
We can't see.
You don't see anything of importance.
Larry is not paying attention to anybody else.
And also, Murray, Tacy would have told you that she's the only one that's been in contact with Brianna. Her son, she has wisely kept downstairs. So, and she, as you can see, she shows no signs of anything herself.
She would still advise that she bathe thoroughly and keep an eye on the health of her family.
Got it. You guys would go back downstairs where Rhea and Shala are waiting.
Hold on just a second. Sorry, Mike.
Can I, like...
The stupid cat's knocking shit off my...
Can I just point out, like, I don't want to be that guy who's complaining about rolls, but I don't think I've gotten above, like a 7 on anything if it was an advantage for a long time. Like, naturally. Man, that is a character flaw. I even wrote about it.
It's because
my
you've
God.
angered Muri.
Like, I don't understand.
Serengay does not shine upon you.
Hey, Serengay does not mean anything to me because the one deity that I do follow, I don't even talk to.
Well, there's your problem.
That's not. No, here's the issue. She doesn't want to talk to me either. If I tried to talk to her, she'd be like, "No, thanks."
I wonder why.
Not my fault. I promise. Also, I did want to ask what my pluses were for earlier was I wanted to ask her a few questions, but Weary mostly got that out of the way.
Okay. Were there any other questions you'd want to ask?
I wanted to ask no, asking you specifically as the DM, will you allow me to redirect the usage of Bless?
In what way?
I want to cast Bless, not like to make her better at, hitting someone with an attack, but just to like have good feelings go through her. Like, she's inspired, she's blessed,
Well,
she's happy.
yeah, I mean, bless is technically, mechanically, it adds 1d4 to all kinds of things, not just attack rolls, but also saves and ability checks and things of that nature. So yes, it's an encompassing sense of peace and confidence from a deity. So certainly you could use it in that manner.
Okay, I just
And
wanted
Oh,
and if
yeah.
she happens to be fighting zombies, she'll get a 1d4.
to- Yay!
Though
yeah,
I will
I'll
say
cast this
though,
on her.
you know that it's a concentration spell. So it will only
Faust
last
is
as long
fine.
as you concentrate on it, and for a certain period of time, which is I think like a minute.
It's just
Yeah.
It's just like the candy thing. It's not
Sure.
something that's gonna last forever.
Sure.
It just feels nice.
Sure. So yeah, and it's lost on her a bit, but you know it worked.
Yay!
Like I mean,
I
it's
did
not like she's suddenly gonna be like,
something.
I feel so much better and confident now. You know what I mean? Like, but
No,
yeah,
yeah.
but you know it worked. So you all are led back downstairs where Shala and Rhea are waiting.
Oh, before I left, she said that this whole ordeal was over her taking like 50 silver pieces, right?
Uh-huh.
All right. I turn to the mother and I hand her 15 gold pieces, and I give the child 5.
I don't understand. What is this for? That's the mother speaking.
I mean, don't listen. It helps me if I don't have to come back here. Not that I don't mind. This place is fine, but just so she doesn't get sick again. Also, I don't trust that guy. And I'll say that while pointing at the priest.
Oh, they're already going downstairs. He's already gone downstairs.
Okay,
so.
good. Then I'll refer to the priest of Abadar, and I'll say, listen, if you need clerical services, I don't know about, is Mary still in the room?
I don't know if Mary would leave you in that room with them.
Wasn't Arlen playing
Yeah, so Arlen would still be
gatekeeper
there.
duty?
Yeah. All right, so Mary's not in the room.
Okay. I don't know anything about the Kadal as far as a cleric goes, but if you need help, and I'll just give her a little address, and it'll be my room at the academy. And I'll just offer my services anytime she needs my help again.
I see. But I'm afraid I can't accept this, especially not after everything you have done. And she'll put the money back in your hand. We are not destitute. We simply just could not afford the expensive services of magical healing from the Church of Abadar. You have already done far too much. Thank you, though.
I have a lot of free time. Listen, if you won't take the money, then you're at least going to come see me anytime you need help, like with something related to this again.
Roll me a persuasion check.
Why?
She goes, "That's very kind of you, but I think perhaps I already have made a promise to the Kadal. If you're friends, of course, then I suppose that you will help as well." She smiles.
Faust tries to be a good person. He can't do anything. Ah! Okay, fine. He'll walk out of the room and look, for the first time you've probably ever seen him, actually a bit sad. But it's still difficult to tell because he's wearing his mask. You just see him looking at the ground, very, like, sullen and shakily.
All right, and so you all are back downstairs. Rhea, Shala, like, so, or Shala's like, so did it go well? Is she okay?
For now.
Good. Oh, that's good. That's so good to hear.
What was it?
I don't know.
Do you think maybe it was she came into contact with something at the market?
She very likely did. She had mentioned finding money in an alleyway. No amount that should have been left lying there by chance.
Well, I mean, people
Fif-
lose money all the
50
time.
silver is not something you lose.
I mean, I'll perk up and say, I almost lost 20 gold.
The
Yeah.
conversation continues like nobody heard him.
With that, Ishani would say, well, perhaps we should go see for ourselves.
Of course, lead the way.
And
She will let the girls know that she's agreed to go with him.
to the Church of Abadar, yeah.
Yes.
So Arlen's gonna ask, has anybody else had, this similar illness? You had said that there were a lot of people that needed the priest's services. Is he still there?
Yeah. Well, we'll say
okay.
you guys are like walking down the street at this point, and he'll say, yes, a great many. That is why I asked you to accompany me to the temple. You'll see for yourself. But this is not an isolated case. And with that, the alleyway is obviously only just a few minutes away. It's very close, and you guys get to it. You get to the alleyway. It is fairly narrow at first glance. Looks like any other alleyway that you would see in Corvosa. Buildings tightly packed together. Everyone who wishes, roll me an investigation check.
Sorry, I was looking at something. Could you repeat part of that again?
Anyone who wishes to investigate the alleyway, roll
I got an 8.
an investigation check. Yeah, Muri's got a 4, Rhea got an 8.
Oh my god.
Arlen
I love
rolled a
alleyways.
natural 1.
Oh,
Are there
wow.
shady individuals here that I can get candy from?
Oh
Ah!
boy.
Oh, and Faust got a 3. So, yeah, I mean,
Wow.
it looks like a fairly normal alleyway. There's not even any signs of disturbance or anything that you would consider unusual. There's no dead animals or corpses or unusual funguses or anything that might denote anything of importance.
Yeah,
Smells
Arlen's
just as shitty as every other alleyway in Corvosa.
Yep.
Arlen's just looking around to see if she finds any more coins. Is there anything left? Did anybody else drop anything?
Nope. And after several minutes of searching, Ishani would say, well, I suppose it was a good idea. But you asked about others. Come.
Doesn't make him roll an investigation check. He's there. What is he doing? Watching us look around this alley like a bunch of assholes?
What are these? Amateurs? Can't even look under a trash can?
Nope.
We look like the Scooby-Doo gang, but we're just... Wow! Why is Commoner better?
Unfortunately, he does not find anything either, though.
Wow.
Yeah.
Boy, here we are standing in this alley.
Yeah.
This is a very nice constructed alley. I'm hungry.
You
Yeah,
do notice
for lunch.
you do notice Muri. I mean, to his credit, he definitely seems to know the right things to look for. But he doesn't find anything of importance either.
Okay, fuck it. Well, the alley's a bust. Let's go check out the church.
All right. So he takes you guys to the Church of Abadar, which is a very large building in Corvosa. As it is also the city bank. And as you approach, give me a second here, sorry. You start to approach the church. Technically, it's a temple, and it's towering over the surrounding buildings. It's the grand vault of Abadar, and it offers a radiant vision of divine luxuriance amid a sea of mortal troubles. It is a place of healing, but also very much a place of wealth and money. And as you get close, you begin to see that its gray-veined white marble reflects the midday sun. And there's very little question that this is a temple, that this is a house of a god. Yet, for a deity of law, and steep stairs and ramps leading up to the temple's great bronze doors offer a strangely discordant scene. Dozens of citizens, mostly the working class, although the skills of a few merchants show through the crowd, throng the entry, scarcely being held back by a group of gold-armored Abdurian, how do you even call the Church of Abdar guards? Abdarian guards? Whatever,
Sure.
Guards for the Church of Abadar. They all seem intent on gaining entry to the temple, not the guards, the people, obviously. But the clerics...
That's a funny thought, though. I mean, really.
Yeah. But the clerics turn away nearly all the comers. The cleric's reasoning becomes clear as one desperate believer is turned away, his pitiful countenance mottled with violent red sores. Very similar to Brianna's. And
Oh, goody. Okay.
as you see that, Ishani says, "Stay close to me. We should get inside."
No. I'm gonna go check out that person who was turned away with the sores.
All right, you go to that person, and he sees your strange get up, and he says, "Please help me. I hurt so much."
Okay. I will stare at him and not respond to him at all, and then pat him on the shoulder and cast a Lesser Restoration.
Okay. Within a moment, his sores heal away. I'm assuming you're curing one disease, yes? I mean, technically,
yeah.
I should ask. You could cure his blindness that he doesn't have. I don't know.
I'm curing the same thing that I thought
Got it.
Brianna had.
Yeah. His sores disappear in a moment, and he goes, I'm cured. Thank you. Thank you." And with that, the crowd, hearing that, begins to swarm you.
What have you done?
I
Uh,
need a distraction.
buddy.
Get in.
No, you guys are all too close together. The crowd starts pushing in, mostly on Faust, but of course the others as well, because, hey, if he cured them, maybe they do too. As people start pushing to you, begging for you to heal them, describing how their situation is so much more worse than everyone else's. Everyone roll me a strength saving throw, please. Okay.
We're doing great, guys.
Legendary.
All right.
Yay.
Weary and Arlen seem to hold up pretty okay. Faust and Rhea, you guys both take... give me a second here. You both take 6 points of damage as people step on you, claw into you, jostle you around. Faust, you're actually knocked down for a second, and someone steps on you as the throng is close to rioting.
Are the shoes squeaky though?
No.
Okay, that's not that big a deal. How does the person look who stepped on me?
You don't know. You couldn't see anything but their foot.
Oh, that's not great.
Right
Well,
on
then
the
I'll grab
face,
their foot.
man.
Mm-hmm. But basically, dozens of sickly riffraff are begging to be cured, and they are really pushing in on you so much that it is hurting some of you.
So I reach into my pocket and I pull out a signal whistle that I have,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm just gonna blow it really loud because I'm trying to startle people and get their attention and stop the panic frenzy.
Okay. Roll me a persuasion
I
check
did
at
not mean to do
advantage.
that.
Okay.
Although, actually, that's a good thing to cast. I might cast that anyway.
Well, I mean, you are that at the moment, much to your dismay. Hey,
What?
look at that. 2
No,
15s.
How can I roll the exact same number? I think it's rigged.
Well, I hate to tell you this, but chance denotes that is very much a possibility.
I think they're random number generators.
You blow the whistle really hard, and most of the people kind of grab their ears and are surprised and stop for a moment, long enough for Faust to get up and Rhea to kind of regain your footing. But I mean, this is causing a momentary pause. It's not like they've all just
I'd be like, quick, get inside, go, and like pushing Faust and Rhea like out of the middle of the throng.
All right, I'll use thaumaturgy and like boom my voice really loud from like a different alleyway, and I'll yell, I have healing if you need it.
Roll me a persuasion at advantage.
How?
Yay!
Again with the... So,
I'm telling you, the
225s.
things-
It's not rigged, it's just probability amazing. Probably.
It's on having an off night on
Yeah.
a random generation.
The throng, much of the throng starts rushing down the alleyway, desperate for healing and curing, giving you all plenty of time to follow Ishani up to the guards. Ishani says a quick word with them, and they usher you through into the Church of Abadar itself.
Before I follow them, does it look like anyone stayed, like from the crowd?
No, not with that roll, buddy. No, they're
All right.
they're gone. You do see some in the distance coming up, but they haven't gotten there yet.
I was willing to heal one last person, but I just need to go. I'm sorry, guys.
Because I'm sure that would have
Yeah.
worked out wonderfully.
I'll follow them inside.
All right. So he leads you guys into the temple itself. And he'll lead you down several corridors, and inside the temple, it's very lavish, all white marble and gold trim. You see several people at desks ready to basically desks with like strong boxes on them and parchment. Some of them are talking to other people who seem to be depositing gold at the bank, things of that nature. Ishani leads you past them into one of the back hallways and into a very small, modest room that looks a bit like an office. And he'll lead you all in there, and it's pretty cramped, and he will close the door behind you, and he'll say, I'm sorry for the cramped conditions, but thought best to, well, not talk about such things so widely in the open. But... Mm-hmm.
What's going on? Is it normally this crazy?
No. That poor lot. You recognize the symptoms too, I'm sure?
Yeah, they look
Yes.
similar to the little girl.
Yes. I had hoped that Solado was an isolated case, but apparently we have a bigger problem on our hands than I'd feared. I'm very concerned for the city, but also my brethren here. This morning I told you that my miracles were already spent. It's because 3 of my brothers awoke with similar symptoms, although they had already, well, they were healed by myself and others. I spoke to each, and aside from their usual duties at the temple, none of them had any dealings with any who are ill. And later in the day, more of my fellow priests, acolytes, guards, even vault keepers developed the same symptoms, and folk from throughout the city began arriving in search of healing. The first day it was a few, yesterday it was 10. Now, well, you saw.
What do
Attached
vault?
to the money.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask, what do vault keepers do? I'm assuming like the bank vaults.
Yes, the great vault below us, where we keep much of the town's wealth. Why?
because the little girl who was sick said she had found some money. And it seems like the one thing in common between everybody is money.
That they've handled money recently.
Yeah, exactly.
I see what you're saying, but it is something to consider, but also consider this. How many people don't handle money on a daily basis? That is a very weak link.
I'm just grasping at straws here. I mean, what is a little child and a vault keeper going to have in common?
I do not mean to dismiss it. I simply mean to ensure that we are realistic about, well, such findings. The citizens are starting to call this blood veil. An apt enough name, I suppose. Well, in any case, most of the patients we're treating have come from North Point and Old Corvosa. The disease seems to spread fastest through the lower classes, although that is not unusual, and we here at the temple can heal some of the ill. I dread that the transmission of the disease will soon outpace our resources. We can cure, but only so many, and he kind of hesitates. Because of our doctrine, it is only those who can pay.
So it's spreading through poorer, more crowded areas of town.
It would seem, yes.
And do you have healers that don't take money? Like nurses?
Not in the Church of Abadar, he says very bitterly.
Okay. Are there family members that are getting sick? Or is it just like one particular person in a family?
Can y'all hear me?
Yes, we can now.
Okay.
I'm
Sorry,
trying to
my-
I'm trying to
my
figure
internet
out.
just dropped off the face of the earth.
Oh no.
What did I miss?
Yeah.
When did you drop out?
It was just after he was talking about the weak link of the money.
Oh, I see.
And
He said that the citizens are starting to call this blood veil, which he thinks is a fairly apt name, and that the disease seems to be spreading from North Point and Old Corvosa. It seems to spread fastest through the lower classes, and that while there is magical healing, they can only heal so many every day, and at the Church of Abdar, he says quite bitterly, only if they have the money.
So Erlen's, gonna ask him, like, if it were spread through the water, then it wouldn't necessarily matter what part of town, because we pretty much all have the same water supply. It could be spread through air, and then, maybe that's how it's spreading, or why it's spreading through the poorest communities first, because they're usually tighter packed. But are there people from the same family that are getting it, like adults and children? She's trying to find some kind of
Right.
commonality.
And his basic response is, possibly. I do not know. And that leads me to, well, personally, I think that if we are going to contain this, the only way to stem the growing infection is to involve the entire city. We need to organize. We need to call upon the face of Sarenrae, Pharasma, even Asmodeus if we have to. Archbanker Tuttle and several of his assistants are out pursuing alliances with those other faiths, but even that won't be enough. We need to involve Corvosan guards and the Queen's new agents, the Grey Maidens. At the very least, we need to get all of them involved.
Doing what? What do you want to get them involved with?
I would assume quarantine part of the city. To keep it from spreading to the rest of the city.
I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not sure. I'm a healer, but I have no experience in dealing with outbreaks. But I figure that if the city can mobilize, then once smarter people than I figure it out, then, well, not only will we be able to implement it, but also perhaps find the cause more quickly. I was hoping
mobilizing seems like a bad idea. You're gonna get a bunch of people together,
the guards.
but you want the whole citizens,
No,
other
no.
religions.
No.
What?
I think that, well, the Archbanker Tuttle is already, gosh, I can't think of the word, petitioning the other faiths for help with healing. And
Okay.
the guard, I was saying that we need to mobilize them to help contain the outbreak somehow, and maybe search for the source of it. As I said, I know that we should organize. I don't necessarily know what that entails. There are smarter people than I that I'm sure that are doing something about this.
When you have people come here for healing, do you keep records?
Usually, yes, but the past day there have been far too many.
Okay.
That said, I was hoping that I might enlist your aid for a favor. I would very much like to go down to Citadel Volshnik and see if we could enlist the aid of the Crimson. But, well, as you saw, walking down the streets dressed as I am is not exactly the safest thing at the moment, as your friends found out the second they healed someone. Might you accompany me there?
Sure, we can accompany you, but
Wouldn't that fail to solve the problem?
I'm still unclear as to what you think the guards will be able to do. If not, I mean, at the very least, they'll be able to help keep order in the area around the temple.
Is that not a reason enough to get them? We need people to find a cure. We need people to perhaps burn out places of infestation. We need a force that can react and interact, right?
Sure, we do, but just getting people on guard or agitated with no plan of action isn't going to be productive. You're just going to cause chaos.
I agree, but we can't form a plan of action if we don't have our resources available to us. I'm not saying that we need to get the city guard and start rushing down the city street. I'm simply telling them they need to know this is happening. They need to know what's going on before the outbreak gets worse.
Sorry, my internet kicked out on me, so Alora's trying to fix it, and I'm in the call on my phone.
Oh, welcome back.
So
basically, right now, Ishani is trying to convince you guys to escort him down to Citadel Volshnik to enlist the aid of the Crimson Guard. And Arlen is questioning how effective that will be.
No, I'm not questioning it. I'm just thinking, like, I'm trying to go through, like, Arlen, her brother did a lot of research on outbreaks
Sure.
and illnesses and how they spread, so she's, like, trying to go through what did the research say, what are the modes of transmission, what are the indicators for each of these, and like...
Roll me an intelligence check.
Okay. Trying to figure this stuff out before getting a bunch of people in the city, in the streets and stuff. Oh. Whoa!
Okay. All right. I'm starting to think maybe there's an issue, but that's fine. You weren't supposed to roll advantage anyway. That's a critical. That's a crit.
Yep.
All right. Arlen.
So we'll take the first natural 20.
Arlen.
Yes.
It suddenly dawns on you. Your brother's notes. Your brother's research. He once told you he was trying to find something that could cure any disease. And in his research, he'd come across a strain of something that was not natural, that caused red sores and high fevers. It comes to you that you read that in the notes a long time ago.
the notes that you still have, right?
Yeah, that I just got back from you guys gave me from Gadrian.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. In
Yeah.
addition to that, I will say the notes did also contain possible actions to take during an outbreak, meaning, and you've covered a lot of it there, quarantine of certain infected places, mobilizing forces to keep the peace, but to do it in as subtle way as possible. Most importantly, to track down and find the source.
Okay.
Also, it had some more gruesome things like the burning of bodies to avoid further spread, etc., etc.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So, like, while this is going on, Arlen's just gonna be like, talking, and then all of a sudden just like, and start looking in her bag of holding and pull out her brother's notes and just like sit down on the floor in the middle of the group and just start going through them. Like, I know it was here, and just flipping through the pages and looking for this stuff.
Okay. While Arlen's doing that, Ishani is like, so, is that a yes? Will you escort me?
I understand you want the guards' help, but if you just want them to watch the building, do you actually need to go ask them yourself?
No, I am not making myself clear, I guess. I do not know what the guard can or should do. All I know is that we need to mobilize the entire city, and they are a large part of that. We need to get their assistance, for what I know not yet. I heard that there's a task force or something put together by the Queen, but I was tasked with going to them from the Church of Abaddar and at least informing them of what's happening. I'm simply asking for your assistance in this matter, as I am afraid to go there myself, alone.
That is
Gotcha.
understandable.
Okay, sure, yeah.
Yeah, we can totally go and let them know, and then start enacting proper protocols for when there's a serious outbreak.
So,
Yeah.
Arlen,
Yes.
you find the notes.
Okay.
Damn good roll, by the way. The notes talk about an experiment your brother had on a lab rat. It was infected. He didn't do it himself. Your brother did not involve himself in that kind of research. But he had found it infected with a sickness, a disease, because you guys don't know. Your science is not advanced enough to know what a virus is yet. But it's infected with a disease that describes very similar symptoms: red sores, fever, coughing. He studied it as best he could, manifested all the symptoms as it progressed. It looked like there was an incubation period before it started. The rat passed away within 7 days. Unfortunately, he was unable to find any cure for it, but he was still working on it. The one thing that he was certain of is that it was potent enough. A couple things. It was spread by touch, and it was potent enough that nothing in the natural world had this kind of strength. In other words, he had theories that this was intentionally created.
Perhaps with Rolf using magical manipulation.
No, there was no speculation as to Rolf or anything of that nature. No. In fact, the rat was found outside, not inside his laboratories with Rolf.
Okay.
So he just randomly found this creature?
Almost by chance, yep. In fact, it marks it in the journal. By chance, I found this rat. Saw the weird markings on it, brought it to my lab for further study. But that said, your brother was heavily involved in that specific kind of research anyway.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And as part of his research, taking in stray animals that had different types of diseases was not uncommon for him at all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm not gonna say any of this.
Okay.
At this point in time.
Got it. So you guys make your way down to Citadel Voshnik?
Sure.
Yes.
Okay. It's not that hard to get down there. Even though he is dressed as a priest of Abadar, flanked on all sides by a party of Weary, Arlen, Rhea, Faust, and Shala, even though I'm sure Shala probably doesn't dissuade too many people. You make your way down to Citadel Volshnik, where you are greeted very warmly by the gate guards, who are quite familiar with you by this point. And they greet you warmly, but they do definitely seem put out. And they say, "We're here to see the Field Marshal."
Yes, Field Marshal Croft.
Do we know their names?
You probably would. If not their names, at least their faces. Yeah, you know them well enough by now.
We will make it a point to greet them by name.
He'll nod. He'll say, "Well met again. Your cow's doing well, I hope?"
Yes, she is. She's doing quite well with Van Carlo, Deep V.
Oh, good. Well, if you need the field marshal, you're welcome to go in. However, she's addressing the troops as to our new orders. So, if you go in, wait until she's done. I'm sure she'll love to talk to you.
Of course.
New orders?
Not my place to discuss it. I'm sure she'll be more than happy to tell you if she can.
Of course.
And as you pass, one of them looks at Faust like, "Wait a second."
Yeah, I was gonna say, I want to chime in and be like, man, it feels almost like I haven't seen you since this morning.
Like, one of the guards, like, you don't remember seeing these two guards. I mean, the Citadel's got hundreds of guards, so you don't remember seeing these two, but one of them, like, as you pass, he squints his eyes at you as you go past. And you're wearing your normal doctor getup, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, all right. So, you guys make your way inside the Citadel, and you make your way towards the Citadel's courtyard. And as you enter the courtyard, you see several dozen Crimson Guards lined up in ranks with Chrysidia on top of like what looks like a scaffolding or a stage. I forget what the name of it is exactly, but the stage that you stand up on to address them, a drill stage or something of that nature. There are echoes that are forcefully spoken but unintelligible that kind of resound off the granite walls as you approach, as dozens of the guards are in assembly, and they're muttering to themselves in hushed tones. A platform, that's what I'm thinking of. On top of a weathered platform, like it's been there for years. Chrysidia is kind of pacing back and forth, her eyebrows arched pretty sternly, as she seems to tolerate, at least for the moment, the mutters. Behind her, on the scaffold, stands three grizzled, older veteran guards at attention. You've probably seen them around, never talked to them, but you know these are more of the higher ranking ones, as well as a very strange looking group. These newcomers wear cowled robes and oily looking leather, supple gloves, and wide black hats. Some grip heavy canes, others dark satchels, and each of them wears a dark goggled mask tapered into a pointed beak, much like Faust.
My brothers!
Among them stands two others. The first is a woman with blonde curly hair, looks to be in her mid-40s. A person Faust knows very well. And a single gray maiden in full armor with helmet on. And they simply stare out at the ranks, unmotioned and unspeaking. And eventually, Chrysidia's fierce tone cuts through the rumble of whispers as she addresses her gathered guards. You will escort Dr. Raylan and her physicians in the royal duties wherever those might take them. Furthermore, you are to consider orders from any of the Queen's Grey Maidens to be as binding as those of any superior officer in the Corvosan Guard. You are the Corvosan Guard. You will not balk. These are dire times, and the city needs these healers. Your city needs you. Your patrol leaders have your assignments. Dismissed. And with that, the guards turn and start to leave, muttering. And you see Chrysidia will motion to the group of Dr. Raylan and her associates off the stage. And as she begins to leave the stage, she looks back over the courtyard and seems to see your group for the first time. And acknowledges you and then like motions you as well to follow back behind the platform.
Yay.
I'll ask her what's going on.
As you approach, you hear from the tall, middle-aged, blonde-haired girl, Faust. I thought I told you not to come back here.
Oh yeah. Well, look. Okay. It's not for the same reason. It's for a similar reason. Well, not really. Actually, I don't even remember why I'm... Oh, yeah. That's right. Okay. So, we're here for probably the same reason you're here?
She kind of shakes her head. What? And she looks at Chrysidia, and Chrysidia shrugs. We didn't arrest him. Again.
Though you'll be happy to note he tried the same thing this morning.
And
Well,
both
I
Chrysidia and Dr. Raylan turn. Did he really? At like same unison.
What? I've never knocked on a door in my life till today. I don't know what you're talking about.
Faust, I told you I don't have time for this. As you can see, I have very important matters to attend to.
But you told me to be more polite and use respect, and that's what I did. I knocked on the door.
And with that, Chrysidia just kind of shakes her head. She goes, look, I am sorry, with all due respect, perhaps you two can sort this out later. And then she turns to Miri and Arlen and Rhea. What brings you here? We're quite busy, as you can see.
The Church of Avatar brings us here.
And with that, the priest steps up. Yes, I was sent by Tuttle to enlist the aid to mobilize the guard, but it seems that was, well, not necessary. And Chrysidia will nod, and she will hand him a slip of paper. And she'll say, these have been distributed across the town. And with that, he will read this out loud to all of you. By decree of Her Royal Majesty, the Radiant Queen Eosa, all citizens and members of the Corvosan Guard are to aid and admit the newly established Queen's physicians in this time of urgency. These royal agents will extend healing to all who are ill and organize defense against the spreading affliction known as Blood Veil. They are to be allowed access to any home or building they deem necessary in the course of their duties. All those suffering from disease or disorder are to submit themselves to the physicians for treatment. To aid in the duties of the Queen's physicians, know that the Order of the Grey Maidens shall also provide military support as needed. The Maidens answer directly to the Crimson Throne and will be called upon as necessary to augment and strengthen the peace where the city guards will not suffice. Impeding or distracting the Queen's physicians or the Grey Maidens in any pursuit of their duties is punishable by imprisonment. Impersonating one of the Queen's physicians or Grey Maidens is punishable by death. And as this is being read, several people look to Faust in his attire. Knowingly harboring or hiding the infected is punishable by death. Purposefully spreading blood veil is punishable by torture, then death. The Queen's physicians will be making rounds of every city district henceforth until Her Majesty deems the misfortune has abated.
They're copying me. I've been wearing this all my life.
That
Not my
seems a
fault.
bit excessive.
Also, why?
Uh, Dr.
when
Raylan just
did
like
this
talks
start?
over Faust to Arlen. Excessive? People who would further the spread of a plague that could wipe out an entire city should not be punished severely.
Oh, no, I am not talking about the punishment for people spreading the disease or anything, but it seems almost like declaring martial law for an illness, which would do the exact opposite of what we would want. It would make people afraid to reach out and contact those for help.
I see. I'm sorry. Who are you again?
I'm just here escorting the priest from Abadar.
Ah, well, my name is Dr. Raylan, and I assure you I have dealt with outbreaks before, and you are quite wrong. Declaring martial law of a sort will allow us to work much faster. People get scared when they get sick. They don't want to do what's smart or what's right. They want to do what they feel is safe. And if we are going to stop this infection, this plague, we are going to have to do it quickly, and we are going to have to do it in ways people may not enjoy. It is for the best.
But wouldn't you gain more success and compliance by working with them and to be seen as somebody trying to aid them? Whereas this decree makes it almost seem like they're now a combatant.
No, it doesn't. It only makes them seem like they're a combatant if you're impeding our progress. Most people will read this notice and be happy that we are seeing to it. Most people will be more than happy to let us into their homes to cure their loved ones. Most people will see this as a good thing, a way to save their loved ones. After all, we are offering help with no cost.
Most people would allow you to come in without the necessity of a decree or Grey Maiden if they were in need of help.
Chrysidia shakes her head and she goes, Arlen, I understand where your mind is at, but I have to agree with the doctor. People do funny things when they're scared. Sometimes a strong hand is a good way. I'm not
Strong
saying
hand
that...
is never a good way when it comes to a medical crisis.
Chrysidia just kind of tightens her lips. She goes, done a lot of city management, have you, Arlen?
I've done a lot of studying on epidemics and illness outbreaks, and I know that declaring martial law...
Actually, Arlen, there is not a lot of studying on epidemics or outbreaks. That doesn't exist in this world.
Illnesses, but, you know, yeah.
Do you have proficiency in medicine?
Yes, that is one of the things I did take.
Perfect. Okay. Then yeah, I mean, you would have had some studying on it. Oh no, you don't have to roll it. I just want to know if you have proficiency in it.
Yeah. I do have proficiency in medicine. Specifically because of my time translating my brother's notes. And growing up in the medical research lab.
And eventually the Grey Maiden would turn to to Chrysidia and say, "This is a waste of time. Why are they here? We have much to discuss." Chrysidia says, "Well, if the priest of Abadar is here, then maybe it would be best to let him in on the discussions. Miri, you're a healer as well, yes?"
Correct.
And she'll turn to Dr. Raylan. "Isn't your team made up mostly of local healers?" And Raylan will nod. "Then perhaps it would be best if you came too, in case you had any insight."
Of course.
"Well then, perhaps we should go inside." And she'll motion everyone inside to a room within inside the Citadel.
What does everybody entail?
Everyone. She, like, Chrysidia kind of mentioned only you, but kind of let everyone in.
Okay.
Even Shala. Well, Shala will be like, like talking to like probably Rhea, who was closest to her. Do you think I should come? I mean, she didn't specifically say me.
I don't see why not. Or if you'd prefer, I could stay out here with you.
Oh, no, maybe it would be best to go in. I just didn't want to impose. And with that, Rhea, if you go in, she's gonna follow you.
All right.
So
She will.
I will narratively cover most of the conversation because what follows is a very long, shall we say, planning session. Where Dr. Raylan begins to lay out what they know, which is actually a sizable amount. She gives statistics. It seems that so far there are 500 known cases within the city. And keep in mind that Corvosa's got a population of about 18 to 19,000 people. So 500's fairly large. 500 known cases. The outbreak started somewhere, it appears, in the northeast point of the city. Maybe Old Corvosa, maybe North Point. It's hard to tell, but that definitely seems to be where the spread started. However, it is quickly spreading to other areas and locations. And they start to then also discuss methods for containment and methods for treatment. Since the Dr. Raylan says that, by her professional opinion, it is quite clear that the spread of this disease will far outpace any magical healing, simply because there are very few people in this town with, say, Murray or Faust capabilities. They're probably in the dozens, and the people that are getting sick are in the hundreds, and it will get worse if things aren't done. So,
Murray would raise a concern. She would want to know the professional opinion of all other healers in the room. In the cases that somebody has been healed by magical means, do they still pass on the disease? Do they get the sickness again? Or is that it? Like, is that the definitive cure?
Dr. Raylan would nod and say, according to our findings, no. There are a small percentage of people that do seem to be immune to it, for lack of a better word, but no, just because you've been cured from it does not stop you from getting again. We've had several cases, about 24 or so, that have had it more than once. We have cured them.
And the body builds up no immunity to it.
Well, it might, but keep in mind that we're talking a period of days. Most immunities take far longer to build up than that. I'm afraid that if the body does not have a natural immunity to it, such immunities may come far too late to save one's life.
Understood.
I will say that we do not have any information on how quickly this disease kills, though my guess would be a week to a dozen days, maybe even 2 weeks if they're lucky. But because the outbreak is still so soon, we have had no reported deaths from the illness as yet. However, even in our best estimates, I expect that number to change.
How quickly do people lose mobilization?
Within a few days, and it does seem to be a 24-hour, give or take, incubation period, where there are no signs or symptoms, which makes things very difficult because they can spread it without even knowing they have it.
And it becomes more difficult, and the decree makes more sense if there are isolated cases who perhaps cannot leave their own homes because of the sickness.
Yes.
Are you saying that you suspect, like, it might be spread by touch? By interacting with people that might have it?
It is unclear. We don't have enough information to say for certain. I don't think it's airborne. The rate of spread seems slower than that, but it could be water or touch or perhaps coughing, though, again, the opposite way. This spread seems to be faster than that. Touch is a good guess. at the moment.
Is Dr. Raylan and the Grey Maiden still in the room?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, she's the one that's been talking this whole time, Dr. Raylan.
Okay. Shoot.
You're
Okay.
debating whether or not to tell her, aren't you?
Yeah.
Flip coin.
Arlen's gonna say, I had a friend who did research in different diseases and illnesses, and he gave me his notes, and in there was a case where he found a rat that had been infected with something that similar symptoms and such, and through his research he found that there was an incubation period, and that between infection and actual showing symptoms, and after showing symptoms, they died within 7 days, and that it seemed to be spread by touch.
Do you have these notes? Could we study them?
I have them. You can make copies of them.
Yes, of course. If that's yes, we would love to. And she'll motion to one of the doctors. Please get with him. Make copies immediately. Maybe it's nothing. Maybe it's something. It's still very much worth studying.
You have to go on now.
She nods. Please understand, I do not like harsh measures, and I understand your concern, she says, noting to Arlen. But this is deathly serious. A disease like this could devastate the town. We are worried. The Queen is worried. She's doing everything she can to prevent this. If your notes are helpful, then that might be a godsend. In the meantime, and with that, without going into too many details again, unless you guys continue to have questions, but they'll go into more details about how the guards will be used. They're not going to set up any quarantines as yet, but they are going to try and have a very mobile system to set up quarantines very quickly, utilizing the Grey Maidens and the Crimson Guard as well.
Can Arlen also suggest, instead of setting up quarantines per se, but reducing or limiting the markets, limiting the hours, trying to reduce, because she's suspecting it's spread by touch and coin, and so limiting people shopping and congregation in large areas and things like that, might be helpful.
Dr. Raylan nods. She would say, that would be a hard sell on the populace, but it makes sense. We can definitely try it.
It would show that we're doing more than just barging in their homes and demanding access.
Chrysidia would nod, and she would say, it would also upset many people who will not get the things they need, but yes, I agree. Your logic makes sense. Yes, Faust, you had a plus symbol?
I was just curious, this is more to the GM, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Is it common for something this big to happen here, like a disease?
No.
I wouldn't say common, but has what happened in the past century?
Not to this level, but yes. In fact, you would probably know Dr. Raylan has handled several small outbreaks. Corvosa being a highly populated, not very rich city in a lot of places, there are outbreaks of diseases, and Dr. Raylan has handled them. But we're talking outbreaks over a neighborhood or two, outbreaks dealing with dozens of people that she was able to treat. So you know, she definitely does have experience in this. On this scale, though, you haven't heard of anything on this scale.
Think of the Black Plagues.
Right.
But the Black Plague could be solved by keeping your hands clean.
Yeah, but they didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah. the Black Plague in the time of the Black Plague.
Right. So they do come up with those methods, and with that, the doctors will like be assigned guards, and then they will start going through the city. And the main goal of the doctors is to treat the wounded as best they can, or the sick as best they can. Dr. Raylan is going to be, for the time being, she's going to be studying the copy of the notes that you're giving her. But she's going to focus more on trying to find the cause. And obviously Chrysidia is going to be trying to keep the peace as much as she can. She pulls you guys off to the side after, while she would definitely pull Weary and Ray off to the side. Arlen, this would probably be while you're letting them copy your notes, but I'm sure you wouldn't be taking your eyes off of that.
Nope.
Yeah. So she would pull Miri and Ray off to the side, and she'd say, I don't like this. Remember I told you... I
didn't think you would.
I told you that my power was being stripped from me every day. Well, this is what I'm talking about. Now we're... And she lowers her voice. We're taking orders from the Grey Maidens, a group that didn't exist a month ago, that answers directly to the Queen. The problem is, the timing is horrible because it looks like, and maybe it's true, but the Queen is actually acting to stop this, which, I mean, say what you will about her, I don't think even she would let the town die. But I cannot legally or publicly reject these orders as they, damn it, they seem to make sense.
Understood. And it will... The worry is that this doesn't change after the infection is cured.
Right. Well, if that happens, I guess we'll just have to worry about it then, won't we?
I would like to offer my help to you specifically.
Any
healing you need done.
I might take you up on that, but not of the healing kind. She kind of looks around. I heard that there might be some looking for aid from certain white and gold masked individuals.
Understood.
She nods. Well, in any case, we have a lot to do. I'm sure that you will do what you feel is best. If you find anything, you know where I am.
Of course. And Miss Croft, be well.
She nods. Faust, Dr. Raylan, after seeing to that the copy of the notes were being made, she'll go to you, and she'll just kind of sigh, and she'll go, all right, Faust, you are hereby delegated as one of my physicians, just so that you don't get thrown into jail simply for dressing like that. But do not pretend to know more than you do. I've taught you a lot, but I have not taught you anywhere near as much as these men. So, do not misuse this I'm giving you.
All right. It's fine with me. Just let me know if you need help, I guess.
She hands you a small piece of paper that is a note signed by what looks to be Queen Iosa herself. And it says, this physician, on authority of the Queen, is hereby given permission to enter this facility for the purposes of treating those that are sick or wounded.
Oh God, now I can't keep him out of my house.
Yay! Okay. I'll take that, I guess, and I'll thank Raylan.
She nods and she'll say, do what you can. Just keep yourself safe.
It's okay. I'm more likely to leave a wake of destruction than to actually be harmed by any of this.
She just shakes her head, never sure if you're serious or not. or maybe really afraid to admit if she knows that or not. With that, if it's okay with everyone, we're going to go ahead and end the session here. As next session, we'll consolidate, and you guys have several paths available to you as to how you want to pursue this next, and if you want to help out, and how you want to help out. There's a ghost ship that someone remembers being quarantined. There's someone requesting help from the White Masks. There's all kinds of things. There's talk of money, perhaps.
Mention specifically who was requesting help.
No,
right?
she would not mention it here. She would have said something like, she'll give you more details later. Obviously, slipping you such details in present company is probably a bad idea.
Yeah.
So yeah, so we'll pick this up next session as the city of Corvosa is stricken with the flu.
Sure. Blue.
Yeah.
All right, everyone, thanks for watching, and we should be back not next Tuesday, but the Tuesday after on our regular time. Until then, everyone, take care.
Night, y'all.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.